Yeah, the entire competitive scene of Super Smash Bros. Melee is bugs.
Oh yeah, 100%. And pedophiles, but mostly bugs. Hi everyone, this is Matt. Welcome to the Real Gamerscore Podcast. This week I'm joined by Cameron.
Hey.
And Reptar.
Hi.
Here at Real Gamerscore, we like to discuss all things Xbox, achievements, and the agony of playing retro games. This week we discuss the ongoing saga of skipped cutscenes, leaving our destiny up to fate, and dealing with getting too much strange. But first, here's the song of the week. Now and then I think of when we played together. Like when you said, let's play Halo until we die. Told myself that the game was right for me, but felt so lost in the lobby. Now it's disconnected and it's an ache I still remember.
I'll give our audience a second to guess if they'd like to. It's a pretty easy one. I actually know it this week.
Yeah, well, the fact that Cameron knows it means that it must be the easiest song I've picked over the last 50 episodes or so. Reptar, I'm assuming you know what it is?
I recognize it immediately.
Well, let's see the audience. Anyone
in
the audience got it? We'll give them another couple of seconds.
Wolfskin?
Wolfskin.
I don't
yeah,
I don't get the reference.
Oh!
That's my band, Shadow.
God, now I just feel like the worst. Hey, that's on you. I've asked you to send me music in the past, and I don't think I've received anything yet.
Cameron was...
It's...
Sorry.
It's been...
Yeah,
I was going to say,
it's just Cameron's feigning ignorance so he can ask you questions about it during the show to let the rest of the audience know. He knows all about it. Don't worry about it. He's just such a great interviewer.
Big brain moves.
So.
All right. Cameron, what's the song?
It is...
Yeah.
I'm gonna mispronounce it. Gautier, somebody that I used to know.
Yeah, Gautier. Yep, you're right. All right, got it. Easy. And Reptile, I'm assuming you knew too.
Is he from New Zealand or?
He's Australian.
Yeah,
he's like half like Australian belt. Like he's some Australian like European mix.
Or Kimbra is the one that's from New Zealand.
I believe so. Kimbra is also in that song as well. Yes, featuring Kimbra.
Cool.
All right, well done. Nice and easy. I really should do ones like that every week. Actually, I should say that one was sent in by one Audrey Lily Charlotte. Thank you for writing. She wrote out the whole song. I just did the first bit because I don't want our listeners subjected to my voice, my singing voice, for 2 to 3 minutes, and also especially the other bit.
The only criticism I had was I really wanted a chorus.
Oh, trust me, I wanted to get to the chorus, but there are too many instrumental bits in the middle that I was like, well, if I put the instrumental bits in, we're going to get in big trouble on Twitch for DMCA. So I figured my singing is bad enough not to be flagged by the bots as copyrighted material. So that's our saving grace.
Funny week with them sending out DMCA.
Yeah,
stuff.
There's some interesting stuff going on with DMCA with that. They said they're finally going to be doing some work apparently to find some sort of solution. Which, again, we're going massively off topic, but it does seem weird that they haven't had some sort of solution come up already, right? Considering that they're owned by Amazon, and they just have they're just like, oh yeah, DMCA. Never would have expected that to happen.
I just wrote a paper for school on DMCA laws and fair use and things they could do, but
absolutely, we'll have to get you back. We'll have a big music discussion. I'm super keen on it actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the housekeeping. So we got the Discord. Discord.io/RealGamerscore is your place to come and chat shit with us. We can talk about the podcast, talk about video games. Talk about anything really. We got a silly stuff channel for memes. We got a serious stuff channel for more serious memes. We also have we run our competitions out of there. We have a Patreon channel, and also where you can ask questions for the show, which we'll be getting to later on.
You can also talk about Treezo, the cute little puppy from Far Cry 6 gameplay.
Yes. There's a very, very cute dog.
I am just so like, oh my god, it is so adorable. I want this game now, and that's the only reason I want it.
Far Cry has been known to do some good animal stuff. I mean, like, I was a big fan of Cheeseburger in the 5th game. You know, the giant circus bear. And Peaches, was it Boomer the dog, Cheeseburger the bear, and then I think it was Peaches the cougar. Yeah, they're the best companions. The human ones suck.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Why would you want a human companion?
No, exactly. We also have the Patreon, as I previously mentioned, patreon.com/realgamerscore if you want to give us some cold hard cash. Basically, we use that to run competitions, to do things like the to get equipment like our headphones and microphones, and also to pay for server costs and for our podcast stuff and bits and pieces. And you also help support the show, so we really, really appreciate all our patrons. We've got a new Patreon. Cameron, who's our new Patreon this week?
It is Kiri Live at Home, which we had on 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, he was our guest on the show. So I think that's the strategy, right? We get people on the show and then we just guilt them into giving us some money.
Yeah,
hey,
you're inclined to support us and our endeavors, then.
Damn. All right.
You can't pull out. You can't pull out now. We got him. We got him.
I get it now.
It's just the booking them for a holiday, and then it's like, oh yeah, you just have to sit the 3-hour panel or discussion. Buy into the holiday shares.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go for a timeshare.
So this is like some sort of Ponzi scheme.
This is multi-level marketing at its best, right? It's great. I've got some alkaline water you can buy.
Yeah.
We also have the Real Gamerscore Word Challenge. I'm going to throw Kirby under the bus here because I've been trying to remind him for the last 2 weeks to set up a new game, but he hasn't done it. So I'm not taking the blame for this.
Yep. Staff channel, just like, hey, Kirby, and then he responds in chat.
He responds to something else and just completely ignores it. Again, Kirby is the only one who sets up the games and that sort of stuff. So if you're annoyed that either A, you haven't got a prize for a competition that you won in the past, or B, you want to get into the new competition but there isn't one, both of those are Kirby's fault. That's 100% up to him. The Patreon money goes to him, actually, so he pays for all of this stuff out of that. So just hit him up on Discord. Actually, just send him your demands. In triplicate.
I think the best way to do it now is just to send him the direct request with a PayPal link.
Yeah, that's the way. Just say give me some money, and just send the link. Just say click here and give me some money, and he'll probably do it. He won't even look at it. I swear to God, he just rubber stamps everything. It's like the worst dictator in the world. All right, well, with that out of the way, let's get into the important stuff. Reptar, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I'm Reptar Nice 2000. I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember. I think the first thing I ever played on was the Sega Master System, and then just kept going ever since. Always been a completionist, so achievement hunting just kind of came natural to me. I've been doing that since I think realistically ever since the Xbox came out, ever since that first pop of an achievement, I was like, wow,
hooked, yep.
I want to get more of those. But I didn't have my first I didn't have my own Xbox though, or my own account until probably the late 2000s, 2009ish is when I started actually having my own account, my own games, my own Xbox, and actually completing everything I started. And so other than that, I run a Discord. That's why I'm here.
Sort of, yeah.
Right? Kind of. That's part of a big thing. I run a Discord.
Tell us a little bit about AHA.
Yeah, so AHA, or Achievement Hunters Anonymous, I started a couple years ago. We actually just had our 2-year anniversary thing in April. I started that a couple years ago just kind of as a way to meet people to do games with, because I'm not a huge fan of boosting sessions on true achievements. I'll do them if I have to, but I'd rather have friends and people I do consistently do games with. So that's kind of why I started the Discord. I actually started the Discord because Overwatch events and all the sessions were reserved slots only. pre-approved invites, and I was like, well, how am I going to get into a session for these if they're all basically private sessions for just friends? So I was like, well, I need friends to do these achievements with. So I started the Discord, and it just kind of blew up from there. We run competitions. We have a book club every month, which is just a game we all try to play, a series Spotlight for 3 months, which is a specific game series we try to play. Tons of great people in there, always willing to help out. It's been a super, super cool place, super, super close community. So, yeah, it's been sick. That's Achievement Hunters Anonymous. Or AHA,
we've had a lot of cross-pollination with them. A lot of members come over to here, and we drag them over to there, that sort of stuff, and it's been really, really good. And we always appreciate all of our AHA fans as well.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
Thank you for the... I was going to say just a few people subscribed, so I'm just going to say thank you quickly. We had Big L, I think we had Rocker, I might have missed somebody else, and thank you Dynable for the subscription.
Oh, thanks guys, really appreciate it. Again, we just hit affiliate status, so we're just kind of getting our feet wet in terms of figuring out the subscriber stuff and alerts and all that kind of thing.
And we promise Kirby will have no connection to the Twitch side of things whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be responsible. We're going to be responsible and actually handle this shit ourselves. And just slowly push him away, just off doing whatever fucking big money Mike stuff that he does, apparently, because he's just too good for us these days. Cameron, you had a few other questions?
Yeah, so pretty much going on from that. I guess tell us a little bit more about like the streaming side on Twitch. What made you want to stream in the first place? And I guess tell us about the sabbatical you're taking.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's another part of Achievement Hunters Anonymous. It didn't start as any sort of like streaming or content creation or anything like that. We had a couple people who made YouTube videos and would post them there and stuff. And then I stumbled across a community on Twitch. A couple of them were like achievement hunters and trophy hunters and stuff, and that just kind of grew and snowballed until I was like, hey, I want to do this. So I sort of split the Discord in the middle, and there's an achievement hunting kind of side to it and a streaming side to it. The achievement hunting side to it's still way bigger and kind of the main focus, but I wanted to give people a platform for their streams and their creative outlets and content creation and stuff like that. And then I was also doing that myself, mostly streaming achievement hunting and trophy hunting content. So I did that for basically a summer and then a couple months, and I decided I needed to kind of take a step back and look at streaming as a whole and what I was doing and if I was really enjoying it. And then after a few months, I was kind of ready to stop the break, but I also started going back to school full time, and there was just no way I could work. Because I have a job too, obviously, and work and go to school full time and stream. It was just like, this is not going to happen. I don't have the mental capacity for that. But I'm looking to get back into it. A little bit of achievement hunting. I've actually recently gotten really, really into retro gaming and retro collecting. I have a copy of if you're listening to the audio version, you're not going to be able to see this, but if you're here on Twitch, I have a copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day boxed right behind me. So that's just part of like a huge spurt of retro collecting I've gotten to recently. So Twitch will probably be a little bit more like niche retro and achievement hunting, just a little bit of everything.
You got a pretty impressive collection behind you there.
I'm looking. Yeah, a couple bookshelves worth of PS2 and Xbox original, GameCube, 360, PS or Xbox One, all the PS3 and PS4 on the bottom.
That's what it deserves to be. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Xbox for life.
Conker's like proudest collectible, or what else you got? Also, where's your address?
My proudest collectible?
Because I know that my girlfriend's going to raid you.
Where's my address? That'd be a long trip. My proudest collectible is, I got a couple of super rare PSU games and one super rare sealed PSU game. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Kuon or Rule of Rose,
Oh.
but I got those in the collection.
Wow.
So those are pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, so there's actually some high quality stuff.
yeah.
I mean, well, quality.
Yeah. I recently got a copy of Haunting Ground too. Yeah, there's some cool stuff in there.
Let's talk to you a little bit about your actual games and stuff.
So,
so in terms of, you said you're a completionist, so that's man after my own heart. Do you have like preferred genres? Do you have a way of picking the games that you play, or is it just kind of like play everything and just kind of work on what I can? Like, what's kind of your process? Because all achievement hunters seem to have one.
So, yeah, that's true. I know a lot because I know a lot of achievement hunters who want to play several games at a time, have a grindy game, have a quick game, stuff like that. I'm very much so just hit it and keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it until it's done, which can be very tiring for some of those longer games. It becomes quite the endurance challenge towards the end. I'm working through Enter the Gungeon right now, and that's been basically the only game I've been playing. And if you've ever played that game, I'm sure you know how tedious and in testing that game can be, especially if you're playing it for 80 hours ish.
I mean, it's a roguelite. So.
I'm almost done. I have one more achievement. Yeah, roguelite, die a lot, hard by design, but I love it. I've been it's absolutely. I've fallen in love with the game for sure. But so that's kind of the main process of achievement hunting. I just pick a game that I want to play, and I just hit it until it's done. No matter if it's a 200-hour completion or a 10-hour completion, I just want to finish that game, or else I'll just forget. I've ADD, and so if I kind of break away from games, I tend to get really distracted and then never go back to the other game. So if I don't finish a game, the chances of me going back and finishing it get lower and lower and lower as like days go on that I don't play it. So that's my process for sure.
I mean, it's definitely not the worst one to have. I mean, I wish I was a little bit more like that. Like, I'm definitely a completionist, but I still have, over 200 uncompleted games in my tag that I'm just like, I should have just sat down and just like smashed through this when I started it, and just life gets in the way sometimes. But yeah, you're right. Like going back to stuff is really fucking hard. It's yeah, and
that's all the games I have unfinished on my profile right now are games where I started them and then something else came out and I started playing that, got distracted, never went back. Like Metal Gear Solid 5, I really want to complete that game, but I think while I was playing it, Destiny Taken King came out or something, and then that took over my life, and I just haven't touched it since.
It's always that one game that will distract you and then just completely take you off course.
Yeah, I mean,
Destiny in the past. It's always been Destiny.
Yeah,
it's always been Destiny. It just absorbs me.
With you. Yeah,
I think I've sworn it off now. I think I'm done with Destiny. I'm pretty sure.
I think I've got like 800 and 900 hours for Destiny 1. So I think I'm complete. I just won those last achievements and I'm out.
I have them both done, completed. Thank God. I have about 800 hours in Destiny 1 and probably 400 or 500 in Destiny 2. And my buddy just messaged me the other day. And he's like, hey, do you want to maybe get back into Destiny and try out the new content when it drops and, Destiny 3? And I'm like, no, I will not this time. It will not happen. I will not dump another hour or month of my life into this game. I can't.
I've got friends that I used to play Xbox with back during high school, where we would used to just do like Black Ops, Kid Toad, and that kind of stuff with zombies. And they've always been PC ever since they basically cracked out of high school. So crossplay's coming up, and they're just like, all right, well, you've got no excuses anymore. You need to come and play with us. You can get achievements now.
That sounds
and it's
horrific.
like, I know it's going to be a massive time sink too. That's the other problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I never got bitten by the Destiny bug, but I think it was intentional because I was like, "This is the kind of thing that I'm going to lose way too much of my life to." I'm definitely not. I'm definitely the kind of person who will just get completely sucked into it.
Destiny or Neverwinter?
It tricks you.
That's the other thing. Is that, yes, I have other commitments that fucking hang around my neck like the albatross.
See, Destiny tricks you too. When I first started it, I was like, "This is fine. It's cool. Like I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself." And then next thing I know, I just couldn't stop. Like
it's the gameplay.
One more run, one more gun. Got to get the yeah, exactly. The gameplay is so smooth and great. The gunplay's fun. It's not like any other of those looter shooters, in my opinion, that keep trying to be Destiny. Yeah. It's just not going to happen. Like Destiny, they figured it out with the gameplay loop. They really did.
Yeah, they're definitely best in class. Like it's kind of not even a competition really at this point.
Yeah.
And also for our non-literary readers out there, Alison has given me a very strange look when I mentioned the albatross around my neck. It's a reference to the ancient mariner.
Yes, but am I the albatross?
Because Alison can't hear what you guys are saying, she was mistaken that she thinks that she's the albatross around my neck. Which, I wasn't going to make the comparison. I was actually talking about Neverwinter, but sure, you
What's the saying? If the shoe fits?
Yeah, it's exactly. If the shoe fits, right? Yeah. If the shoe fits, I'm going to end up in my fucking ass if I'm not careful. All right.
I was going to say, Big L just said Outriders is a slick Destiny ripoff if you like Gears game. So, I want to like Outriders, but just not jump. Just not being able to jump, it felt so weird.
Outriders is the way I keep describing Outriders is it looks cool, it looks good, but it looks like a game I would have been excited about 5 years ago. Like it's just
that's exactly how
late,
I felt about it too. It's like, okay, this like if this came out before like Borderlands 3, I would have been like, oh, this is kind of like a cool that sort of looter shooter style with like kind of that zany humor. I mean, it's whatever. But like I was like, okay, it looks kind of interesting. But it's like, yeah, we're way beyond this, and it kind of feels like an old game. But I mean, it is in Game Pass, so it's kind of like it's low barrier to entry. But
I'm curious, for the people that have played in the chat, have you had disconnection issues, or is that all like pretty much all been solved now?
From what I heard, apparently a lot of those they've been fixing a lot of issues since it came out. But
like they had the issues with like loot going missing and
they definitely patched a lot of that stuff a few weeks back. But I don't know what how many people are actually really going back to that game.
That's a whole nother topic.
Games with Dane the other week basically said that he did his achievements for it, and then he was like, yeah, no reason to go back to it ever because it's just kind of
yeah.
And then they'll add DLC.
And that's the big thing too is like those. What's that?
And then they'll add DLC.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. But you were saying, Ripta?
And it's the problem. I was going to say the problem with a lot of these games that come out that are trying to be Destiny is they're always the end game is what's always lacking in them. Like there's nothing to do once you've finished it and then got all the achievements, and it's just okay. Now it's just nothing. Destiny nailed it with the end game. There's just so much to do.
I don't even think it's that though. Like the reason I kept on coming back to Destiny was it was very repetitive, but the gameplay was like solid 10 out of 10. Like you could.
Well, that's Bungie through and through, right?
And everything was fun.
Yeah. They kind of got the. I'm trying to figure out the best way of phrasing this.
Teamwork kind of gameplay co-op experience down. Yeah.
I mean, like they brought over a lot of that Halo experience they had about making a console shooter a fun experience to have, right? And they were like, well, they focused on making the gameplay and the gunplay especially fun to play, and then added the free to play and games as a service trappings around a really really good core concept. They kind of fucked it on the story stuff, but that's because they kind of did better on that in the second game. And I think that's what a lot of these games are missing, right? Is that they build the free to play trappings first and then put the gameplay in afterwards. So you play like things like Neverwinter or actually even like Borderlands is humor first, loot second, then like shooting third. When it's like sure that there's enjoyment to get out of that, but it's a different kind of enjoyment than what you get out of something like Destiny, which is like fucking gunplay is like top notch. You get in there, shoot the shit out of things, and you have a great time doing it. Also, you get some good loot. Also, here's some free-to-play bullshit.
And I feel like the amount of endgame content was like there was enough to where the sameness really didn't feel too washed out. Like a game I think about all the time and it's lacking endgame is Division. Because
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
I had a buddy who got really into Division, and he was my roommate, and we had a big setup in the living room with all like consoles and stuff, and I'd always watch him play it. And the end game was him running around in the dark zone with a bunch of other randos shooting each other, testing their builds. And I'm like, is this it? Like, you're just trying to get the most DPS out of your build, but what for? To just see how high you can get? Like, how is this entertaining? Like, I just couldn't get behind it.
Yeah, like the original Division really sort of dropped the ball on that, because there wasn't really an end game to it. It was just the PvP area, which was like get good loot, but there wasn't any purpose for it. The DLC added, I mean, they had the Underground DLC, which was their sort of roguelite, like, you know, run-based mode, which, you know, I did to get my level 40 and was okay, but like there wasn't really anything to it. It was just to get good loot. And then they added in the survival mode, which was something completely different, which I still need to finish. And then they added in the whole multiplayer mode, which everyone fucking hated. It really wasn't until Division 2 where they understood kind of like the whole raid mentality and kind of like being more Destiny-esque was really what was on the cards.
See, it's funny. I hear good things about the Division 2, but I quite honestly know like nobody playing it. And it's one of those games that I want to check out one time, but I mean, there's just so many better options. Yeah, like I just don't have the time to do. I don't have the time to do games as a service anymore. To be honest, you know, I've got too much other shit that I need to finish.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the big thing.
Having a game that never ends is actually like one of the least appealing things in the world to me. Because like I'm very much like, hey, I want to play this game, get the experience, and just move on.
The Avengers game broke my heart because I had the $250 collector's edition Captain America Statue Edition pre-ordered. And then they announced it as a games as a service, and I canceled my pre-order. I was just like, nope. I wanted this to be a, you know, Spider-Man Insomniac type deal. I thought there was so much potential there. And then they're like, games as a service. I'm like, you just killed it for me in 3 words. Or
exactly,
games
right?
as 4 words. 4 words. You killed it for me in 4 words.
And that's kind of how the problem is, right? Is that like, everything, I mean, and we're kind of seeing a little bit of a move away from this as developers realize that you people only play maybe 1 or 2 of these games, right? If games go on forever, people only have so much time, and it's like I play Neverwinter, which takes up way too much of my time when there's content, and like everything else kind of has to go second from that. But like if I had like a Destiny or I don't know, if like I get like a like was it Warframe or like any of these other like free to play or these like I was like I wouldn't have time to play anything else. And it's like developers have to realize it's like if you're going to make your games if you're going to make it games as a service, your game has to be amazing, has to be well supported, has to be have a really good gameplay loop, have a good community. Like there's so many things that have to go into it to actually make it viable to continue to get people to put the time and money in.
The thing with Destiny too, like when that
your game has to be better than Destiny.
Yeah, it has to be as good or better. Yeah.
I remember back in when it launched, like September 2014, I believe, off the top of my head. I remember like the year after.
Yes.
I would at least have like 30, 40 people on my friends list that I could jump into a game at any one time. Like there was always options with that game. Whereas in any other live with a service game now, I'm not going to even bother looking at it unless I know there's a few individuals going to do it with me.
Yeah, like that's why like AHA and RGS like are really good for that, because we have groups of people who are, you know, like-minded and potentially want to do this kind of stuff. But like it's a real commitment. Like it's I mean the AHA guys were doing Phantasy Star Online too. And it's like, the only reason we're doing it is because they're moving on to a new one and they're not putting out any new content. So it's not going to be, you know, a lifelong commitment, hopefully. But outside of that, it's difficult to find the time and the motivation for sure.
Yeah. No, I wasn't playing other games, you know. Destiny, I was playing Destiny, and another one I dumped like 700 hours into Smite. So that was like a few years of my gaming life. Like that was all I played was Destiny and Smite, and I'm like, man, I missed so many games great games that came out between like 2015 and 2017 because I was just playing 2 games. So,
That's always the risk, right? It's like it's got to give somewhere.
So in the chat, personally, if I had enough time to play a game that never ends, I'd play an MMO. Just like, I mean, prior to Game Pass, it was such a good option if you were, if you wanted just to focus on one game. It's probably not the way to achievement hunt, but
no, definitely not. But it is like, I mean, like
good for content.
The thing is, I can't think.
If I had to pick one,
yeah, like
I'd play
exactly,
WoW.
exactly right. The thing is, I can't think of a single game that I'd want to put that much time into. Like Neverwinter, I put a lot of time into because I have to. And like, don't get me wrong, I definitely have enjoyed playing through Neverwinter, a lot of it, but most of it is mindless bullshit that I fucking hate. Right? There have been some really good stuff that we've done, and I've had good community, and like a lot of it is community stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes into a game that I'll talk about later, around like how the enjoyment comes from the people you're playing with. But I think that it really is up to that community, and I can't think of a single MMO that I would be like, I want to put all my time into this because the game is so good. Like I can't think of any game that I want to put, MMO or otherwise, that I want to put a huge amount of time into because the game is just so incredible that there's nothing else that compares.
Before I found achievement hunting, that used to be me with Perfect World Entertainment. Their flagship title. That was a real. Yeah, everybody's going to jump in and say RuneScape now.
Drell's eyes come in and say RuneScape, and it's actually a very, very good example.
Oh, man. I got RuneScape Mobile a couple years ago, and that was a fun few months. I broke the spell pretty quickly, but man, that was... what a... I want to try RuneScape 3, because I've only ever played RuneScape 2. I played the old school on my phone.
Yeah, I played Classic back in the day, but... again, that came out at the perfect time. Like it was exactly what people wanted to play. It didn't, it was the sort of early days of the internet. A lot of young people played on pretty much anything. It was very much the Fortnite of its day.
It kind of, I think, is a big inspiration to a lot of my achievement hunting because it was so good at rewarding you for everything you did. Like, you got 5 mining levels. Here's a reward of being able to mine different ore now, and I'm like, that's exciting. And I also think they did MMO questing. Like, RuneScape quests are better than World of Warcraft quests, hands down, because every RuneScape quest was like relatively unique. It wasn't just fetch quests or kill. They weren't like kill 20 enemies in this zone. Like the RuneScape quests were so fun and so well designed that no MMO yet that I've at least played has come even close to that. So RuneScape was great.
All right. So just wrapping the stuff up here. So are you going to be what have you got planned in the future there, Reptar? You got any big plans for? You said you're taking a bit of a sabbatical from streaming because of how life's getting in the way and stuff. But you got any big plans for AHA and stuff like that going forward?
When will we get the winner for the last quarter? That's the real question.
No. I know. I want to start streaming again.
So really, this is just an ambush about the kitchen sink.
This is entirely an ambush.
That's our... You know what? We dropped the ball. That's our bad. We all got really busy. I was in school and working. Josh was working. Or Josh, excuse me. Robbie was moving and Valet couldn't do it all. So,
everybody's busy.
We dropped the ball, but we're gonna get back to it. It's all in good fun, all just a good hobby. We're gonna bring it back coming up in July. July. I was just talking to Valak actually about posting the spotlight voting and the book club voting in a few weeks here. So that's something to look forward to. I'm gonna start streaming again too. I just announced today, kind of in the podcast announcement too, that I was gonna, in coming weeks, I want to start trying to get some stuff going. Very casual, very when I have time, because right now I'm working 4 to 5 days a week and it's not consistent. So it's basically just going to be no schedule. If I have a day off, I'm going to throw up a tweet and a post in the Discord saying, hey, come hang out. I'm going to play some video games if you want to talk. It's been weird taking this break because we didn't do anything for 3 months. We were going to do a backlog event, but we were all just like, we all need a break. We just need to chill out. So no event at all, no competition, no book club, no spotlight, just treat it as a backlog event. If you want, play your backlog, or don't, do whatever. Everyone needed a break, and it felt like I wasn't doing anything for the server for that 3 months. But that was, I mean, in that 3 months isn't up. There's still a month and a half of that. But that's kind of the point. Like, I feel bad. I feel like I'm not doing anything, but I'm not supposed to be doing anything. Like, none of us are supposed to be doing anything. So
it's been good though.
But that's
like,
going to come to an end,
break, and it's important to take a break.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of retro that I've been ignoring forever, avoiding forever. So that's been good, and but I'm excited to get back to it. I'm excited to start being active with everyone again and doing events and discussing the book club games and discussing spotlight stuff and everyone getting it. I feel like the break was very good because people were getting burnt out of being told what to play in a way. Like, I remember when Spotlight first came out, people were talking about that series for the entire duration of the 3 months. And then the last one we had, like, no one really, everyone was kind of like already taking a break on their own. So we figured, you know what, if everyone's already taking a break, might be a good time to just officially take a break. So it'll be fun to try to get back to it, and hopefully people are into it again and talking about the series and excited about, you know, playing every single Assassin's Creed game back to back or whatever the spotlight's gonna be. And I gotta hurry up and finish whatever book club is. Or it'll be fun. I'm excited.
So I guess my last question with that is with the upcoming announcement of Forza Horizon 5, we're going to see another spotlight for Forza.
Okay,
right?
I think we have to shut the show off early here. Cameron's got to go.
Wait, did we say Forza Horizon 5?
We need to talk about Forza.
Forza Horizon 5, please. Japan, finally, please. Give me a Japan Forza Horizon.
Mexico.
I know it's supposed to be Mexico, but I don't understand that. I don't understand it. Oh, that's another game I've been playing. Speaking of Forza, I've been playing Forza 6, grinding that monster little by little. I forgot to mention that. But, yeah, that's a boring Forza. Of all the motorsports,
I think they're all boring, to be honest.
That's a boring Forza, dude.
Motorsport is average at best.
It's therapeutic. I can just chuck on an anime and race in a little circuit and not think about the game and just watch the anime, but still make progress in a game I enjoy playing.
See,
so that's always what motorsport's been to me.
Horizon's
therapeutic.
that for me. Okay. Interesting.
I think racing's just that way for me. Racing games.
I totally agree. I mean, I wish I was better at it. I have so many other racing. I have a bunch of racing games I need to finish that I'm just fucking shit at. I'm just like, it's cool when you get into it. Like, I enjoy like the old Burnouts and stuff, but anything too semi, I'm like,
I'm gonna say it now too. If there is an eliminator mode in Forza Horizon 5, you probably have like 2 weeks after launch to grab me, because I am going to just breeze through that game.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to some of the news stuff we got here. Cameron, what have you found this week?
All right, so a little bit in crossplay news. Going back to the Destiny talk, they are testing crossplay in a beta next week through a particular Vanguard Strikes event that will be between the 25th of May and the 20... Oh, wait, this is the last week news. Sorry, that has just been between the 25th and the 27th of May. So... I would dare say that we won't be far off from seeing crossplay in Destiny 2, which personally I am excited for, because I mean, like, I can't think of a bigger title that would benefit from crossplay.
Mm-hmm. It is kind of the perfect title for that, right? Like, I mean, and they've already done so many strides in terms of like cross progression and stuff like that. That kind of is the next logical step.
And they have communities, strong communities on every platform that they play on. So it just makes sense to bring them together. That'll just make an even stronger Destiny community, which would be really cool to see. I'm still not going to play it, but
I'm going to be. People are going to twist my arm as soon as that drops. I just know it. But I thought that was a quick little tidbit just to add in. And yeah, I'll be very interested to see crossplay raid progression, because I really want to go back and do Vault Glass now that I've seen some people doing it again. But I find it that funny that within a day I was seeing posts of just like, oh, yep, so this boss can be cheesed as well as the original.
That's the Destiny
good.
community.
Knock it off the ledge. Yeah,
It's like cheesing bosses and finding loot caves are really the two pillars of keeping Destiny running, right?
That was fun. Knocking Atheon off the ledge.
So
that
anyway,
was fun.
going on with the crossplay news. Have you done it before? It is honestly such a fun feeling.
Back in the day when the game first came out,
like back when Destiny 1.
Yeah, and they were, and then Bungie was like, "Wait a minute, you guys can't do that. Stop that."
You're like, what? They're like, what? It's like, yeah, we're gonna make the game less fun. Take that shit out.
That.
Warlock, Nova Bum.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing too. Destiny really benefits from its bugs.
Kind of, yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of these looter games do. I mean, I remember when Anthem came out, right? There was that thing where people were getting like double loot or something, and everyone was like, "Wow, this makes the game like a lot more fun. Like I'm getting like good loot and like getting through the content and enjoying it." And was it EA was like, "No, gotta put a stop to that. Can't have that. Gotta just put the kibosh on it. Just
need to understand when a bug makes the game more enjoyable, because I feel like so many times fun bugs get patched out, or harmless bugs that are in single player games that maybe could be used to help the player if they so choose, but don't have to. Like, why patch that out when there's a million other game breaking bugs that you could work on? But
I think that's the point where your community manager needs to grab that feedback from the community and go, well, is this something that we necessarily do need to fix, or is it something that we can capitalize on and meme a little?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's about being in touch with your fan base.
Sometimes bugs are features.
5% of the time.
I mean, yeah, the entire competitive scene of Super Smash Bros. Melee is bugs.
Oh yeah, 100%. And pedophiles, but mostly bugs.
Yeah, about that.
I was going to say too.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna leave that one.
I was going to say too.
On.
Destiny 2. They also had like a 12-person raid bug, which apparently was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember when that started. I never got to try it out, but I remember that. Yeah.
Like I would love to have a, like, using Destiny example, if we had like a PvE event where rather than just being limited to like a 6-person raid, it was like a 20-person, 30-person, do like a whole clan thing. That'd be sick.
That would be cool, actually. Just kind of completely break it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, get some wild level raids in a first-person shooter. That'd be nuts. Maybe with crossplay, they could start introducing 10-man raids and 15-man raids, and it'd be cool.
I mean, there'll definitely be enough players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going into the other crossplay news, Rennie Pitchford put up a tweet this week, which was good news or bad news first. Good news. An update for Borderlands 3 has been prepared for release that includes full crossplay support across all platforms. Bad news. For certification, we had been required by the publisher to remove crossplay support for PlayStation consoles.
Ah, okay.
So there's been a little bit of controversy about this, especially after I think it was through Epic versus Apple. They found out about PlayStation being the only one out of the big three to be charging their publishers.
Yeah, so basically what came out of that was like crossplay happened, but it turned out that the only reason it happened wasn't because fan outcry was like, hey, get this fucking crossplay thing working, you dickheads. It was more like Sony came to a deal where they were like, okay, if people are playing more on the PlayStation but spending more on other platforms like Xbox, PC, and Switch, then we want a cut of whatever they get given to us to make sure it's like, if they're playing on ours and spending on ours, that's fine because they get the money anyway, right?
Yeah.
But if they're playing on other platforms, playing on our platform but spending on others, we want a cut of that, basically. Which is super fucking scummy.
Oh, Sony. Sony's just, everything they do lately is just dumb, bad things.
Yeah, it's just like not a good look. And so this is kind of again come out of that. Is that obviously Gearbox doesn't have that same. Yeah, so I'm guessing Gearbox doesn't have that deal. I'm glad that they've just come out and said that Sony are the ones holding this back, because they should be called out for this bullshit. To be honest,
I think it's just ambiguous enough to be like, well, has Borderlands, went, all right, we're not going to dive into
pay
this
them, yeah.
Or is it actually PlayStation holding their arm and twisting it?
Oh, I'm almost certain that it's the first option, right? That it's Gearbox being like, hey, look, we're not like Fortnite. We're not making millions on microtransactions every day, right? Like it's sure they'll make a little bit of money on DLC and some microtransaction stuff that they've got in the game, but like it's not the breadwinner. It's just a nice extra. And for Sony to be like, no, you got to cough up like a third of that or whatever the fuck it is, to be like, if they happen to be buying stuff on other systems, like how fucking self-righteous can you be? Like, holy shit! Like, it's just like it's a super bad look, and it's like it's really damaging to the game community as a whole, right? Because it's like you're just incentivizing this stuff, and like I get why Epic agreed to it, right? Like, because it's like they want this feature in there because it's good for them, and like kind of Sony was the holdout, and Sony is PlayStation is still the biggest platform for a lot of this stuff. I mean, the PS5 is still selling as like 2 to 1 on the Xbox, if not more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like it's unfortunate, but it's like it just is a real scummy move.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, going into it, if the proportion of PSN revenue share divided by PS4 gameplay share for a title is less than 0.85 in any given month, the partner will pay Sony Interactive Entertainment a royalty to offset the reduction in revenue. The partner has no obligation to pay a royalty in months where the revenue share divided by PS4 gameplay share is greater than 0.85. Even that's such a like
so 0.85. So basically 85%. Basically.
So unless 17 or more out of 20 out of 20 purchases are Sony, we're going to charge you.
Pretty much, yeah. Assuming people are playing on that platform, which they are.
What I don't understand is how Sony is linking this to loss in revenue, or making up revenue. Like, if somebody has an Xbox, somebody has a PS4, there's no potential loss for Sony to lose money because they never had a PS4 in the first place. They just had an Xbox, and I don't know how you can connect those dots. That's stretching or reaching.
I mean, unless you have multiple consoles, but
even still,
I mean, I guess I'd be interested to see the statistics for that, to see how many people nowadays actually own more than one console across, not across generations, but across different brands.
Yeah. That's just very much Sony.
And like, I'm wondering how. Yeah, they're basically taking their ball and going home, right? It's like
doing an 80s Nintendo.
Basically, yes. Yeah, it's pretty shit, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to get resolved in the future. I mean, it is a real shame, but I mean, PlayStation just kind of have to come to the table at some stage, or they just won't, and they can just fuck off. So
I'm wondering if it is the case that, I mean, even the whole discussion about PlayStation exclusives coming to PC now.
Yeah,
and some Sony fans just being up in arms about it, about games that are like 3 or 4 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Whoa! Are you saying Sony ponies are getting upset about people being able to play their video games?
Only Sony ponies for you.
I was just
that sounds.
I was surprised by one I saw just yesterday. I think it was. I was scrolling through and I saw an article that Uncharted 4 is apparently rumored to be coming to PC. Even like that one surprised me.
Well, I mean, because they what do they bring over? They brought over Days Gone, right? And then they're bringing over Horizon Zero Dawn and I guess technically Death Stranding, although it's not technically them, but they help fund it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uncharted is an interesting one, but I guess they saw a lot of success with moving things over to PC because like Sony in the past have not really been involved in the PC market at all, so they're kind of dipping their toe, and I think Uncharted 4 would be a really good one to move over. I mean, having the whole entire Uncharted trilogy on there as well would probably not be a bad idea. I mean, maybe this paves the way for that Bloodborne PC port that everyone's been hollering for forever. I don't know. I mean, like they're definitely making strides into that because they realize that the console market is good, but the PC market, like they're leaving money on the table there basically by not supporting this stuff. Because PC gamers want to play a lot of this stuff. I mean, shit, I want to play a lot of this stuff.
That's why I
definitely think we'll start seeing a lot more. Yeah, I definitely think we'll start seeing a lot more exclusive PlayStation content start to hit PC. We'll get a few announcements at day 3.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Anything else we want to touch with that?
No, I think that's
I can just easily see like Windows and Xbox, and potentially if games are on Nintendo, or being crossplay in the future. But I think
it really sounds like Microsoft and Nintendo have a pretty good relationship with a lot of that stuff already.
It's just everything you hear about Microsoft, every Phil Spencer news or anything is always like something pushing the industry forward, I feel. And anytime I hear something about what Sony did, it's just like it feels like, you know, steps back and holding the industry back. And it just as
I feel like
as a you know, somebody who's passionate about this hobby, anytime I hear about Sony, it just I can't help but get mad. Like they were going to shut down the PS3 store, like because they think old games just don't matter. When I'm huge into game preservation, and so it's like anything Sony does these days, I just roll my eyes and I'm like, come on, like let's work together to push this hobby forward, this passion forward for everybody, and stop trying to hold people back. It's a shame. That's all it is. 100%. It's a shame. I want Sony to do succeed. I love their games.
I think it was I feel like they seem to be the biggest impediment for that, right? Because they're just getting in their own way.
I feel like the only time Microsoft's actually hold us back, I guess, this generation or last generation is with Games of Gold. With the attempted price increase with COVID.
But they listened within a day. Within 12 hours, they were like, just kidding, we hear you. It took Sony, like, 2 or 3 weeks to say, okay, fine, we won't pull the PS3 market. That was weeks. It took Microsoft a day to be like, wait, we hear you, just kidding.
And they're still still closing Vita Store, yeah?
No, PSP.
Yes.
The Vita Store's
still...
and the PSP is the biggest one that like kind of makes sense because most PSP games are also already available on the Vita. And I have a PSP that I turned on a few weeks ago, and I couldn't even figure out how to get to the store, if I'm being completely honest. So, yeah, everything... Yeah, there's not many...
I completely hit it.
There's not many exclusive PSP games that you can only get on, like, the PSP store that you can't get on the Vita store. I don't know if they're going to pull the PSP games on the Vita store, though. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll see.
It'd be interesting.
And yeah, like I think we talked about it was it last week about how it really highlights a lot of the difference between Microsoft and Sony in terms of where they are in the market, where you know Sony are definitely still on top, Microsoft are still the underdog, so they're having to be a lot more consumer friendly to try and push this stuff up. They are both still faceless corporations who would gladly kill us for money if they could. Just have to remind myself that every now and then. And then the other bit is that like the East versus West argument around where, you know, Microsoft are a very American company, focusing on accessibility, and they have that connection. They have that direct connection with the, you know, the English speaking audience especially, and they're pretty quick on their feet. Whereas Sony is a Japanese company that's basically run out of Europe that has a big presence in the US, but doesn't have. It's kind of weird. Like they're a bit more disjointed, and it feels like there's a lot of cooks involved in that, whereas Microsoft seems to be a bit more centralized, and they can kind of get shit done, for better or worse. But it'll be interesting to see how if that changes going forward, especially with how Sony's been recently. But I mean, again, we're at the start of a new generation. We're not even a year into it yet. And there basically hasn't been really much going on until we'll see at E3 what's happening the rest of this year.
We've just really hit 6 months, haven't we?
Basically, yeah, yeah, pretty much. Just a bit
ever since
over.
COVID, the passage of time has just been irrelevant.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't even know.
I guess moving in from that, want to talk about some Sonic news?
Sonic? Oh yes, I'm a big fan of Sonic. Gotta go fast.
So Sega had their 30th year anniversary for Sonic. with quite a few things to chuck behind it. So we got an announcement of the Sonic Rangers game coming next year.
Yeah, Sonic Rangers. It's kind of weird. It looks kind of like Breath of the Wild style. I don't know.
Yeah, so...
This is the first I'm hearing of this. What?
I've never...
I heard Sonic and Breath of the Wild, and I'm like...
I've never...
Scratching my head.
Well, again, like, people have been memeing on that a little bit, so, like, I'm not going to say that it's Breath of the Wild disc. It's like, because it's green and has color.
Pokemon
like,
and Breath of the Wild. That made sense,
a little,
but this, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's an open world game. So like people were theorizing that they were going to do like a remake or like Sonic Adventure 3, but it's kind of like in that sort of vein of more like Sonic Adventure 1 where you have like a hub world and stuff and this kind of stuff. I don't know. Like I think it's, but apparently it's very inspired by Breath of the Wild. From the leaks I've saw, it was like you go around to shrines and collect like Chaos Emeralds and then go open a boss fight, like in the same way that like Breath of the Wild was, collect the divine beasts and that sort of stuff.
I just hope Sega can finally make Sonic good, please.
I mean, they've had a lot of tries, and they've hit it okay sometimes. There's been a few ones. Sonic Generations was incredible, and Sonic Mania was really, really good too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I feel like Sega's been really good, like...
with their other stuff.
Like, last year, they were smashing out titles. Like, what?
Yeah,
Two Point Hospital,
Sega in general...
Yakuza.
Yeah, Sega in general have been doing really well. It's just not so much with Sonic. We haven't really heard a lot from Sonic recently. I mean, like the last one was Sonic Forces, and that was a fucking nightmare.
It's funny. Like I was, me and Nikita were talking. I think it was yesterday, or the day before, and it was. She was like, "Oh, NetherRealm's making like a new Mortal Kombat game." I'm like, "Oh, they're making a new game after that successful movie that they just launched."
I just watched that movie last night. It was really good.
And then I'm just honestly, it was like amazing. I loved it. Then the funny thing with it was I went to her and just like, "Oh, they're making some new Sonic titles. Like, that's interesting." And she's like, "Wait, they're making new Sonic stuff after that successful movie that they had?" Like,
yeah, it's a fair point. That movie did do really well for them.
And I mean, they're already... Have they finished wrapping up the sequel as well, I think?
No, they're still working on it.
They're still working on it? Okay, well... I need to watch it. I'm actually very curious. I might do that with Stephanie tonight. But Sonic Colors Ultimate, that's coming in September 7th this year. That's just a remaster of the...
Yes, I mean, Sonic Colors was a pretty good game. So, I mean, like, it wasn't amazing, but yeah, not bad. Okay.
Sonic Mania heading to Epic Game Store and Amazon's Luna.
No,
it's funny, I haven't really heard much Luna news lately.
No, I mean, Luna's been kind of quiet to start with, right? Like, again, they're doing that whole browser streaming thing, but I think they're kind of biding their time. I'm sure they'll do probably a big integration with Twitch when it comes out fully and that sort of stuff.
Makes sense. PlayStation's going to get Sonic Mania, Sonic Forces, and Sonic Racing starting from June 1st, 2021. Sonic Origins Collection, which is going to release next year, will include Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3. Knuckles, as well as Sonic CD. That will be out sometime next year. And then there's also Sonic stuff coming to like the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, where Nightmarish Sonic takes part in 18 events, a bunch of Sonic items being added to 2 Point Hospital, which another successful Sega title, and Lost Judgment was getting it included in one of the Sega arcade games. If you know the Yakuza stuff, as well as I'm still going. There's still plenty of Sonic news. They're also doing a Netflix show called Sonic Prime.
Wait, really? Oh, okay. All right, I'll watch that.
So Sonic Prime, it will be a full-length 24-episode animated series coming in 2022. The announcement was made by Joe Kelly, one of the several writers and creators that made up the creative team at Man of Action, best known for creating Ben 10 for
Ben 10, yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, Ben. I actually quite like Ben 10. Ben 10 was good.
Yeah,
the early seasons.
I like the original before they did the redirection with the art.
Yeah. They've done like 3 redirections at this point because it's been going for so damn long. But yeah, I like the original art style too. All right, interesting. So there's a lot going on. So apparently Sonic Prime's coming out 2022. So on Netflix. It's like, hey, great. I'll watch that.
Netflix has been doing quite a lot.
Yeah, especially in the video game space. I mean, they did they did Castlevania, which I just watched the last season of that. It's really good. They did Dragon's Dogma, which apparently is getting a sequel, which is a bit more iffy. Isn't there going to be like a Resident Evil one or something as well? They're jumping on the gaming bandwagon, and Netflix in general are looking at more interactive game stuff. I think I saw a news article about that the other day.
Holding this here for point of reference.
Yes,
Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead. Yes, Cuphead, of course. Which I suppose is made for that. I'm hoping it's going to be real, very similar to the game, where the first episode is just Cuphead trying to get to the tutorial level, but can't quite figure out the double jump mechanic.
There's got to be some reference in there somewhere.
I don't know. Maybe that's a little mean.
I'm just excited for quality video game media outside of video games, because forever it was just dog shit.
Yeah.
I mention the Mario Bros. Movie?
Oh,
which
well,
apparently they're doing another Mario Bros. Movie?
Yeah, apparently they're doing an animated one. Yeah.
From Illumination.
Yes,
which is the studio behind Minions, I believe.
Yeah, the Minions studio. Yeah. If you want to hear more about our thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie, you can listen to Lights, Camera, and Action, our Patreon-only movie podcast, where we rip that movie to fucking shreds for being one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I love that movie.
I enjoyed it. I had seen it before. Cameron hadn't, and just hearing Cameron trying to figure out what the fuck was going on in that movie was just an absolute joy. Yeah, it was a nightmare. We're going to do the Sam and Max series at the moment. We're probably gonna we'll watch those over the weekend, hopefully, and we'll record that probably next week.
So actually, I recommend, if you can, just going on YouTube and watching the Sam and Max episodes, because that TV series is the exact same style, essence, humor as the game.
Does it have the screaming guys? Does it have the guys running around going with grenades on or whatever? The Suicide guys?
Oh, you're thinking of Serious Sam.
Oh, Serious Sam. Whoops, not Sam and Max. Different.
Sam and Max is the Telltale ones. I'm pretty sure they released a VR game last year too.
Yeah, they did, for some fucking reason.
I was like, they made a TV show out of Serious Sam? That's gotta be wild, but...
that I would watch. That I would fucking watch. That'd be hilarious. Alright. So I'm interested in some of that Sonic stuff. I mean, I haven't played a Sonic game... I think the last one I did was Generations, which was years ago, and that was really good. I need to go back and finish up Adventure 1 and...
I'm just trying to think of the last one I played.
Unleashed, I guess. Unleashed has one really, really good level in it, and the rest of it's just okay.
Was Sonic Fighters the one that was 360 arcade game?
Oh yeah, that fucking
one of the original baby games. One of the first cheapo 400 gamer score, 20 minutes.
That's the one.
Oh god,
great game.
Yeah, I'm sure you played a lot of that game. I'm sure you played way more than 20 minutes.
I played that game multiple times because it's been in the other collections as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. All right. Let's move into what we've been playing. I'll go first because I do not have much of a list. Human Fall Flat. So they finally patched the achievements for that, and they added the new Forest DLC. And so myself, Cameron, Valak... who else was there?
Mike.
Nev and Mike. So we all ran through and did that and had a fucking great time. The worst lag I've almost ever seen in a video game, though. It was literally... It started off being okay, there's a delay from when I press the A button to when I jump. Of a second. By the time we got to the last level, it was a 3 to 4 second delay. So I was having to fucking play 4D chess with the game, trying to be okay, I need to hold here and then let go when the game shows me I'm here, and it'll respond there and then jump here. It was an absolute nightmare. But we had a great time doing it.
See, I don't know if it's just between our two servers or this is a common problem with other games as well. But I mean, there's a lot of ass grabbing between AHA and RGS members.
Yeah, I did notice that. And I also noticed that Nev had a real habit of just grabbing people and throwing himself off a ledge. I'm not sure what that says about him. But I think his mentality is if I'm going out, I'm taking these people with me.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of human chains of just human conga lines just going off a cliff. Dead. that game is so fucking hilarious. If you haven't played it, you need to play it. It's one of the funniest, most enjoyable games I've ever played in my entire life. It is definitely made by having a large group of people. You're gonna have a lot of people in that game, and it's in 4K. It really takes advantage of the Series X. So get on it.
I think that's. I'll also give a quick shout out to the AH101 server because they. I think it was Wackapel that brought up the point. The actual PC version has been swapped to Human Fall Flat Legacy.
Oh.
So
what is that?
So Wackapel's under the prediction. I might be wrong, but I'm like 99% sure it was Wackapel, that it will be leaving Game Pass in 13 days.
Oh,
so
okay.
What I think's happened is now that it has Series X and S support, it's a cross-play title across the Xbox One version.
Right.
So potential play anywhere, meaning that the Legacy Edition will just go bye-bye.
Right, okay.
If that makes sense.
Interesting.
At least that's what I'm hearing throughout the achievement hunting communities. So, I mean, if that's something that you want to jump on, it probably will be a good time to do it. I'm pretty sure us and some of the AHA guys that haven't done it are probably going to play it in the next week or so.
PC version? Yeah, I should probably do that too, actually.
Wouldn't be a bad idea, but I thought I'd quickly just throw that in there. But yeah, I mean, also just adding in the fact that getting Nev in a headlock with a crossbow is the most fun I've had in a video game in a while.
I also quite enjoyed the bit where I didn't realize the elevator was up and I got stuck underneath it and my head clipped through the whole thing and I literally was like, okay, lift the elevator up, get off the thing off me. And instead of just lifting the elevator, my head was stuck in the middle of it and I just went up with it. It was, so Big Nev and Chad has just said, he was celebrating the achievements finally being fixed by just murdering us. Yes.
I still need to go to the new ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah, but I always have a fucking blast with that game, and it's one of the few games I don't mind them putting out more content for. Partly because it's free, but partly because it's always hilarious to play through it, and it's a really good opportunity to go back and just enjoy those games. Also played a bit of Strange Brigade with Cameron here.
Hey.
That's not a good game.
No,
no. It's not. It really isn't. So we played a lot of this with yourself, Cameron, with Brad, and with Kirby, months ago when we decided it was going to be our next
feels like
co-op.
a bloody year ago.
It was almost a year ago, actually. I mean, it's been a long time, but we decided it was going to be our next co-op game after we finished Remnant, and so we played through a lot of it. But after things sort of fell apart when Kirby left the show and he had other stuff to do when he got his new job, and Brad now working and stuff, so it was just kind of hard to get us together to do it. So we decided we were going to go back and do some of it. That game is bad. There is not, it takes all the worst things about Zombie Army Trilogy and just kind of amplifies them. The reason Zombie Army Trilogy works is zombies are slow for the most part, and there's a lot of sniping mechanics in there that works out quite well. This game, the gunplay is bad, the auto-aim is awful, the hitboxes are way too small, there's way too many enemies, it's massively repetitive. I kind of like the humor a little bit, but the guns all feel like they're Nerf guns, and if you're playing on anything above easy, you're just going to get fucking swamped. Yeah. So we played through a few levels. We did some of the DLC, which you can play through on easy, but there is an achievement for the main game for finishing it on extreme. What you can do is get to the last checkpoint of a level and just crank it up to the highest difficulty. But the game is just massively unfair. They have these charging bull enemies that literally will just charge straight at you, and they because of their really shitty coding, they will glitch around. So if one's heading for a pillar, instead of hitting the pillar, he will just go around it. It will glitch around the pillar and hit you. So you can get hit from any angle, and if you're fighting more than one of them, which you usually are, because in this case you have to fight 3 groups of 2 of them. They will one-hit kill you basically if you're not on full health. And once you die, you need to be revived, and when you revive, you only have a tiny bit of health, and it's just dying over and over and over again. So much so that I got so tilted that I rage quit, which I don't usually do. But I was so fucking over it. This game sucks. I'm really disappointed with how this game has turned out. And I know that the level we're on, it's like level 7 out of 9, is always the hardest level, and people are like, yeah, it's complete bullshit. But yeah, it's a fucking nightmare.
I almost played that game. I'm glad I didn't. Really glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I was going to add into that. The only saving grace that I can actually give it is the fact, I'm playing Zombie Army 4 at the same time with Alex.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having that many disconnection issues with him that he rage quit last night on me because he couldn't get into a game. He's just like, I've got better things to do with my time, and I'm like, I don't blame him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
real shame.
We haven't had any disconnection issues with you, fortunately. But
thankfully, yeah, it's been relatively stable.
That would throw me until.
But it's just like you get into these arenas where you need to fight off waves of enemies, and I get it, there's some variety in enemies. Some of them can teleport, some of them have ranged attacks, some of them are just, mindless zombies, and some of them have armor and stuff, and then there's the bull enemies. But they just throw so many enemies at you all the time. It's not even, difficult most of the time. It's just tedious. And that's all the game is. It's just moving from arena to arena and just fighting off waves of enemies. There's some puzzle mechanics in there, and there's a shitload of collectibles. But, I wish there was more to do in the game. I wish there was more to it. I wish
it felt more like a Zombie Army clone.
Yeah.
The enemies are too much of bullet sponges to actually... I would much rather than times 5 the amount of enemies that we have and just make them one-hit kills.
Yeah, exactly. And on easy mode, it's okay, but when you bump the difficulty up, they just take so many bullets to kill. And the aiming was obviously built on a PC. I remember when we started this, Kirby was like, "Oh man, the auto aim's on this. We should probably turn the auto aim on because it's clearly not working." And he went into the options to check it, and it was already on. It was already on. And just there's no it's so precise. It was definitely made for a keyboard and mouse.
It's not
and they just haven't really made any concessions for console, unfortunately.
It isn't a Play Anywhere title, is it?
No, I don't believe so.
Does it have a PC version with a list?
Yeah, just Xbox.
I don't know if it came out on PC in terms of an Xbox version. I think it might only be Steam and stuff.
Yeah, I think it must be only Steam. Nothing on the page. But 100% agree with everything that you said. I'm gonna be glad that when we get it done.
Yeah, we'll have to go back, and I think we'll do the last DLC level, and then we'll try and figure out what the best course of action is.
This is definitely the worst Rebellion game I played.
There are some bad ones, but it's pretty bad. And then, of course, the main game that I've been playing and losing all my life to in a way that is massively unhealthy is Final Fantasy X. So I've talked about it the last couple of weeks. So last week I was at the very end of the game. Basically at the end of the game. I just finished the Zanarkand part, and there's kind of the last couple of boss fights in the final dungeon. So I've gotten to the end of the final dungeon. I'm right before the final boss, and so I've gone back and started beating Dark Aeons. I've done all the mini games. I've beat the get 000 time on the Chocobo race. One of the times I did it, I got 0.09. So I was less than a second off, and I was pretty upset by that. But I got it within half an hour after that. So very RNG focused. So lately it's just been grinding, working on the Dark Aeons. I see Kirby's already done it. I don't know how he did, but some of these Dark Aeons are absolute bullshit.
It makes me curious. Did you ever at one point look to see if there was a Cronus Max script for the Chocobo races?
No, because the problem with the Chocobo race is that it's random. There's RNG. So essentially you need to, when you're doing the race, you have to collect balloons, and every balloon you collect reduces your time by 3 seconds, and every bird you get hit by increases it by 3 seconds plus whatever the animation time is. Yeah. So you have to get to the end, collect about maybe 15 balloons or so to get your total time below 0 seconds. Okay. Because you still have to win the race as well. So it definitely took a few tries, but I got it. I've got one other race that I have to do where I have to collect treasure chests. I've been really close to getting, but I haven't quite hit it yet. And I've just maxed out one character or 2 characters, and I have the other 5 to do that I'm working on at the moment. But yeah, so I've just hit 100 hours in that game in the last 2 weeks. So I have been playing the shit out of it in a way that's I've been losing sleep over this game in a way that I haven't had a game grab me like this in probably since like it's probably been like a good almost 10 years since I've had a game like really just absolutely suck me in like this in a way that I've just haven't had the experience of, and I'm loving it and hating it. I mean, I've definitely gotten to the part of the game where I'm like, I'm just grinding out, trying to finish out everyone's sphere grid, trying to do luck grinding, because the final boss, the optional bosses, I have all my stats maxed out except for luck, and luck is a pain in the ass to grind out, but because instead of getting like, you know, a bunch of spheres for it, you can only get it from one enemy, and you only get 2 of them at a time, so it takes forever. But the final bosses have such high evasion stat that you have to have high luck to even hit them. So if you don't, so I was like, I could like just not do luck grinding and just try and tough my way through it. But when 9 out of your 10 hits don't hit the enemy, and every hit that they dodge increases their overdrive gauge, so they can hit you with their special attack, I was like, fuck it, I'll do the grind. I'll just deal with it. But I'm hoping to have that done this coming week, and then I get to move on to the next one, which I don't know if I'm going to go straight to 10-2, because it's a far lesser game. But we'll see. I might give it a little bit of a break and play something else for a bit.
10-2 is a quicker completion, though, isn't it?
Yes,
okay.
It's definitely a quicker completion. It's like 80 hours as opposed to 120. So it's quicker, but it's still the JRPG. So gonna be busy. But yeah, that's all I've been playing basically. So that puts me at 1,265 for this week.
Very nice.
Reptile, you want to talk about some of the games you?
What? Both of you at the same time said me? So, yeah, I'll go next. So, okay, so I already talked about this a little bit, but I've been playing Enter the Gungeon, which was, I'm doing it kind of in a competition with some streamer buddies of mine, some Twitch friends, to see who can complete the game with the least amount of time. And we are doing all the DLC, we decided, or at least me and one other guy decided we're doing all the DLC. I don't know if everyone else did. It's been a game that I've been meaning to get to for a very long time. I love roguelites. I love the genre. And it's this one specifically is one that has really always caught my eye. And it was a combination of just like mildly intimidated by it because it's not an easy completion. It's like a 6-something ratio. And it was never the right time at the same time. So I figured this stream buddy of mine was going to do it, and a couple other people are like, well, we'll do it alongside you and we'll race and see who can finish it fastest. And I was like, you know what, I'll take that action, I'll get on in it, screw it, let's just take the plunge, we'll start it. And I knew I was going to like it, but I didn't know I was going to love it. And I've played roguelites before. I played Dead Cells and a few others that I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I played Dead Cells, and that was a game where I could only do a run or 2, maybe 3, where I was like, all right, I've had my fill. I'm just getting annoyed now. This is just bullshit. I'm done. But with Gungeon, I literally found myself being able to sit down and just play it for like 8 or 9 hour play sessions in one sitting. Like, I was just absolutely engulfed by the game. Every death was like, instead of getting tilted and pissed off, it was just like, all right, brush it off, run it back, let's do it again. Like another run. It's the epitome of one more run. Has what Gungeon has been for me, the epitome of one more run. So if you haven't played Gungeon, if you like those kinds of games, 100% recommend playing it. It has some tricky achievements in it for sure. It's not an easy completion. I have one more achievement, and it's been the last one for a while because it's just grindy. You just have to kill a bunch of enemies. My one complaint is pretty much that achievement. It feels like it broke up what the game was meant to, like how the game was meant to be played, because it's basically this NPC gives you a list of enemies that you have to kill, and it's in order. So you have to kill 60 of this enemy, and then 40 of this enemy, and some of the enemies are varying rarity. Some of them you only get like 1 per floor, and it's only on one specific floor. So you have to. There's a little shortcut thing where you can take an elevator to a floor, so you have to go to that specific floor and run the entire floor to maybe find one of that enemy, and you have to do like 25 of them. So that's really kind of been a bit of a bummer. I wish they would have just made it all at once, so they would encourage you to actually just do runs, and you'd be working on everything as you did the runs instead of grinding out floors kind of monotonously. But I only have one more little quest thing left, and it's to kill the final boss 5 times. I only got to kill him 4 more times. So that's been fun to actually start kind of playing the game again. You can just do a boss rush mode. So I've been doing the boss rush, playing against... It has you play against every boss in the game up until the 5th one. So that's been fun. So that's been the main game I've been doing lately. I've also been... When the gungeon does get a little boring, especially towards the end of the grind, where I can only kind of do like a little bit a day, I've been grinding Forza 6. I touched on a little earlier, just doing a few races a day. Figured I've been sitting on the game forever, and I'm almost done. I only have the endurance races left now, which is not small, because those are still like, there's 10 of them, and they're like an hour and a half races each minimum. So that's not fun. You have to do like 17 laps or something on the Nürburgring, that's a 10-minute lap.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not 17, maybe it's something a little smaller, but it's a 10-minute lap. Like that's a lot. You're sitting at that game, you're doing the same track for like 2 hours.
You gotta really get some podcasts going for stuff like that.
Yeah.
It eats away your soul.
I'm glad I can split my attention span very well and, watch anime and stuff like that, or watch shows and streams while I'm doing it. So, yeah, that's going to be the godsend there. And then, I don't know, am I allowed to talk about my retro? Because I always have a retro kid now going now. I've been playing Star Fox Adventure on the GameCube. I don't know if anyone here has any fond memories of that game. I don't care what anyone says. That is a totally valid Star Fox game. It's a great game. It earned its place in the series. It's well deserving of being called a Star Fox game.
I never got to touch it.
You
get a copy.
It's fun. It's not like all the other Star Fox games, and that's why it gets its bad rap. Is because it's not Star Fox. Because SNES and Nintendo 64 were, flight combat, space combat, a little bit of landmaster, like ground combat stuff, and tanks. And then Star Fox Adventure came along, developed by Rare, and it was like, well, first off, I'm sure you guys know the history. It was a totally different game. It was called Dinosaur Planet with a totally different character.
Yep.
And then Nintendo was like, nah, slap one of our IPs on it. So Rare was like, okay, we'll take Star Fox and just plop them in the game. Is essentially what happened. So it's kind of like a Metroidvania.
I'm going to judge it on one metric. How many barrel rolls are in the game?
There are flying segments.
There are flying segments.
Okay.
There's a few flying segments, and you have to do barrel rolls. Or you don't have to, but you can. The flying segments are definitely bastardized and small, and they're a means to get from point A to point B sometimes. Like, I feel like they just threw them in there because
they felt like they had to.
Yeah, it's Star Fox. If they didn't, the game would have been a 0 out of 10 in so many people's eyes. But I really love it. I'm really loving it. I'm almost done with it. And then last week I finished off Conker's Bad Fur Day on the Rare Replay. That was fun. And I decided,
it's a great game.
I've had the box there since release. My dad got it, and I lost. Well, the game was stolen from me, and I recently got a new copy back. So I decided after beating it to dig the box out from under my bed, put the new copy in, and put it on display. So nice. Just gonna keep flexing that boxed Conker's Bad Fur Day over there. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing lately. I'm not sure what's next after Gungeon. I'm probably going to finish Gungeon tonight. I have no idea what's in store after that. I decide my games via randomizer. I live my life via randomizer. So we'll see whatever's pulled.
I'm very
Roll
curious.
The dice. All right.
I'm very curious to see how you would handle Undermine.
It's on my list. I love roguelites, so it's on my radar. I'd like to give it a try. I'm not anytime soon. I can't go from one to another. That's too much.
Undermine's like 200 hours. Just don't do it immediately.
That's too much.
And the more you guys talk about roguelites, the less I want to play them. To be honest.
Great games, but they time sinks.
They're hard. Well, Gungeon's not really a time sink. It's only about 80 hours. But they're hard and they're intimidating. And it's short for a roguelite. They're intimidating hard. They're learning curve. They're no one likes dying in video games, and the core mechanic of roguelites is dying, so you just have to get
dying
over
and losing
that
progress,
mental,
which sounds like the worst thing in the fucking world.
You
to me.
have to get over
I want to
that.
keep all of my progress.
That mental hurdle that, okay, I'm going to die. That's by design. It's okay to die. The game is teaching me by dying, but it's very hard to get in that headset.
Yeah.
That headspace. Mindset, headspace. I said headspace. Or headset.
Headset.
So it's funny when you're talking about how Star Fox was, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that game was basically the millennials awakening to the furry community in so many ways. They're just like, wow, look, this is awakening something in people that they just didn't realize about themselves.
There are a lot of late 90s, early 2000 things that contributed to the awakening of furries, okay? Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Lola Bunny's probably the biggest one.
Oh,
yep. Yep. Don't worry, that's the Real Gamerscore podcast.
Where are we taking this? And how do I quickly get it back to
where we're taking it, Cameron, is to what you've been playing this week.
Sweet.
Yes.
So I'll quickly just touch base on like Zombie Army 4. Me and Alex have basically done all the Horde mode stuff now. I mean, it was good to realize that the Horde mode stuff for the DLC I didn't have to purchase. So
good.
Quickly got them out of the way. Strange Brigade. I mean, we already discussed that. Human Fall Flat, like I said, Legacy, jump on it. It looks like 13, 12 days. You know, I'm definitely going to be playing it at some point. I'm sure Mike will. I'm sure Nev will. So I'm sure if you want to play with me, just let me know. And I do have the level skip organized because I have completed the game. I just haven't done the miscellaneous. From that, the main 3 games I've been playing this week was... And I lucked out massively on this. I talked about Ariel's Knight's Never Yield last week, which is an amazing game. I was actually sitting in front of... Thank you, Mike. I was sitting in front of my Xbox, just browsing Twitter and doing some other like social media stuff. And then I noticed that the game just started updating. And the game had 1 or 2 unobtainables. One was unlock all achievements, and the other one was an unobtainable. So, basically sat down and said, "All right, I think they've fixed the level glitch." Wasn't the case, but I found out the 3rd level I can smash through in like a minute and a half, and I just kept reattempting the bonus level.
Oh.
Eventually, I lucked out, got it, first in the world, updated on TA, and then the messages came. So as Mike can tell you, Human Fall Flat, if you're the first to something, people want to know how. And essentially it's basically complete the bonus level, get an outfit, and then the game's essentially done. But got that, put a tweet out, and Ariel Knight actually liked it on Twitter, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, good.
That was my one big win for the week. Saying that, last weekend me and Adrian or Kiku decided to download Knockout City to try it around. That is an incredibly fun game
that no one's going to play.
Yeah, like I said with in AHA, it's going to be one of those games that I think it's going to turn into a Bleeding Edge. It's going to be pretty dead 6 months after. It'll be one of those games for the first month or 2 that people will just love, but it will drop off. So I'll be interested to see what kind of support they have going forward to keep people engaged with it. The achievements do look like they're a bit buggy at the moment, but it is one of those live service games that I think I will actually enjoy. Because I mean, like, who's done a dodgeball game before?
Well, I do have. I have Stickbold, which is the story-based one that I've worked on playthrough with Alison, and there's also Super Disco Dodgeball Remix, which I have, but I haven't played yet.
Interesting.
But again, those are very different games.
Yeah, very different games to this one. So I'll be interested. I guess the only thing that I want to see this game include is changing the ball to a wrench.
It's wrenching a dodgeball. Yeah, all right.
Just gotta have some classic meme moments, just like that, just to get the best out of it, you know. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and if anybody does want to play at one point, definitely jump on it with me and Adrian, because I do want to... I'm probably just going to spend like half an hour here or there just to work on some of the achievements down. Yeah, saying that, I went straight from Yakuza 3 to Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, because I am an absolute madman that has no respect for the order of video games.
God, you hurt me every time you talk about the series. You skip the fucking cutscenes. You don't play them in order.
You skip the cutscenes? No.
I have a reason for it.
I don't want to... No, the reason's not good. It's a shit reason.
I'm going to get every other aspect of the game done, and then I'm going to come back and enjoy it one by one.
Sega made a piece of art for you, and you are shitting all over it.
I am doing the pre-work.
The pre-work.
Getting all those
Who
Mahjong
pre-games a video
out of
game?
the way. I want to get all the Mahjong and all that out of the way, and then go, alright, cool, I've got like 2 or 3 achievements left in each of these. Chuck it on stream. Absolutely enjoy everything. I'm gonna get a call from Sega. I know it. They're gonna be like, no, we can't have this. We're gonna copyright strike this shit or something. Like, you need to rein them in, because this is you cannot be promoting this on Twitch. This is unbelievable. I mean, look, it's how I'm gonna treat like multiple playthrough games. I mean, are you enjoying the game at least? Yeah, like the combat is absolutely solid. I would hope so. They've had 6 games to get it right. Yeah, Free Eye, like, played quite a bit, but then I'm just like, I just don't really want a game that feels like a PS2 game at the moment. Like, 3 is drastically different to 6. 6 feels like Kiwami. Right, I'm pretty sure they were released pretty close together.
They were.
But, you know, same like Clan Creator is 2. I think it has Cabaret Club, but I haven't got up to that part yet. I wouldn't be able to tell you about the story, other than I am caretaking for a baby in the 3rd chapter, which leads to the only missable achievement in the game, which is calming the baby down by swinging them, or putting them up and down. Like, you know, just normal baby stuff. Just shake the baby. Yep,
shake the baby.
Just shake the baby.
Baby football.
Yeah.
The baby is the football.
Yeah, exactly. As The Witcher said,
I don't know why my mind just immediately went to South Park even before you made that reference.
The baby.
Yeah.
Poor Ike.
Poor Ike. Yep.
But yeah, no, it's actually really enjoyable, and I feel like I'm smashing through Yakuza 6 a lot quicker than the others. I mean, you're skipping the cutscene, so what a fucking surprise! I mean, yes, but I know that when I go to 5 has the I think it has the perspectives of 5 different main characters. Right. So that one I'm not looking forward to, just for that regard. But, you know, once I get everything done, I'm just going to play through on Legend. I'm just going to play through on Legend. I'll be fully maxed out, and everything will just be a walk in the park.
Is it like a New Game Plus type deal, where you can just go through on Legend with super buff strength?
What was that?
Is it like a New Game Plus type deal where?
It's New Game Plus.
Okay.
Essentially, you have to complete the game once to unlock a Legend difficulty, so you've got multiple playthroughs already. And it's just one of those cases that I'm finding myself. It's more compelling to do 100% of the campaign and rush through on the story, and appreciate the story as a separate thing, rather than go through the story, completely forget it from the next game because I'm spending 50 hours doing Mahjong, and then going to the sequel and being like, how's this connect up to that?
I just need to point out real quick that I know for a fact that Mike is a serial cutscene skipper. And even she's getting on you for skipping the cutscenes.
Alright, but the thing is, though, I'm skipping the cutscenes so I can enjoy the game later on as a...
It makes sense explaining it. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's... I'll allow it.
If the completion was, hey, this game play through on easy difficulty, 1 playthrough, and then, you know, do X amounts of side content, that'd be fine. But it's because this game has multiple playthroughs, having to get 100% of the completion list in some of them.
Why wouldn't you just play through the first playthrough watching all the story, just run through the story, and then do all the optional shit on your Legend playthrough then?
Because I don't want to make it harder for myself by doing the optional shit in the Legendary when I could do it in
Right.
easy.
Okay, yeah.
And then I may as well... Like, I'm loving the combat aspect of it, and loving the fact that I can mix... You know, I can go and do poker for an hour and then come back and do something else and do a sub-story. I think the best thing for it is when I actually have everything done, going, all right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do 0, and just play through the story, you know, rush from A to B, not skip the cutscenes, actually appreciate that, but have minimal gameplay. Like, you know, just do the boss fights.
And like I said the other week, why don't you just watch a fucking YouTube video of the whole thing at that point?
Because that's not playing the game.
What's
I mean,
I take
and watching a YouTube video is not going to get me achievements.
That's
Nah,
fair.
I suppose that's
I
fair.
would take I take the exact opposite approach for stuff like that. Is on my easy mode playthrough is when I take in everything, cutscenes, side stuff, mini games, no matter how long they take, because I want to spend as little amount of time on the hardest difficulty as possible.
Exactly the same.
I want to get in
Yep.
and get out of hard mode. Like,
See, I'm a firm believer. Like, if you got a massive project that you're taking on, work with the hard stuff first, because as soon as you get the hard stuff done, everything's going to be easy.
I mean, that's...
No, I can see that.
I take that approach to collecting video games. Currently, I keep buying all the stupid expensive things, because as soon as all the stupid expensive things are out of the way, then it's $10 pickups. So I kind of get what you're saying.
The only criticism with that, though, is by the time you get all the expensive pickups now, that the cheap games that were originally cheap, they're expensive pickups.
That's the worry, but I don't think so, because some of the expensive pickups are expensive pickups because there was like 20,000 copies. Like, there's millions of copies of Super Mario 1,000 Year Door, or Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door out there. So, whatever. But there's only 20,000 copies of Kulon and Rule of Rose out there. So, that's that. That's my mindset. But also, that is something I think about all the time. And you're a horrible person for making me have anxiety about that again.
Be a horrible person? No, never. I was going to say, though, like, when I actually...
hundreds of episodes of proof otherwise, but that's fine.
FOMO is real.
When I actually get to doing, you know, just the Legend playthrough, though, I'm going to stream on Twitch just so I can, you know, have that reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the one series that I want to be able to do that with. But yeah, other than that, that leaves me, you know, like there was some quick, easy Windows 10 stuff in that as well. 4,480.
Nice. All right. So we've got a couple of questions here. We've got one from Serial Question Asker, Isaac. Also, if you guys have questions in the chat, now's the time to ask them. It says, hey guys, so Pluto uses a whiteboard to keep track of what games to play. I use a to-do list or a spreadsheet. How about you? How do you just choose games that sound fun, or do you keep a list? Thanks, Isaac. So, Reptile, let's go with you first, because you mentioned a randomizer.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So, I basically everything I play is... Every game that I own, I purchase with the desire to play. Everything I buy, I bought because I want to play it, and there's not really many games out there that I want to play more than any others. I'm kind of a psychopath in that way. I have thousands of games that I all equally want to play. So the best way to decide for me usually is just randomly pick. If there's like an event in the Discord going on, like the Spotlight or the Book Club, I try to play those. I used to play the TA playlist a lot, but not so much anymore since the Discord took over what I play. But if there's not something like that, I usually I have a spreadsheet. Well, the Xbox is great because it has the Surprise Me button, which is really nice. And I can even curate kind of like, do I want to play a 200-hour completion right now, or do I want to play a 20-hour? You can even go... I have all my games grouped based on how long they are estimated to take to complete. And you can go to your groups and actually click on the group name and then Surprise Me within that group, which is really cool. So sometimes I do that if I know I want to play a 10-hour game or a 20-hour game, or if I know I want to do a 60-hour game. Outside of that, I have a game tracker app that tracks my collection for all my retro stuff, and that actually also has a randomize button. So I randomize if I know I don't want to play something Xbox, but literally any other console is free game. I will randomize the console, and then I will randomize the game as well. So that's how, and it's all. I also keep track on a spreadsheet, Google Sheets, on what I have and haven't completed and stuff like that. So that's my method: is purely random, chaotic, neutral. Throw a dice in the air, and whatever it lands on is what I play. And I try not to argue with it.
I was gonna say, how many rerolls do you give it?
It depends. If I'm really not feeling a game, I'll reroll. But if I'm like, okay, sure. And I do that with like a ton of different things, like what I'm gonna watch, anime or series. I always just throw the list in a randomizer and go, okay, that's what I'm gonna watch. Okay, that's what I'm gonna play. So that's how I like to do it.
Let RNG.
Yeah, just let fate decide what to play. Because if I didn't let fate decide what to play, I'd be sitting there for hours combing through my 1,000 game list, figuring out what I want to play. So instead, we just let fate choose. It's worked for me so far.
I'm getting a lot of comments in chat about Agony.
Oh yeah, Agony.
Yeah,
that was fun. I have a physical copy of Agony.
That one Spotlight month where we had a choice between Agony and Agony.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was a very interesting experience for me because I had already completed Agony at that point, and so I just got suddenly I became the person to go to, be like, hey, how do you play this game? Like, what do you do? Like, what guide do I use? How do I do this? What do I do that? And it's like, okay, well, I need to go deep into the dark recesses of my mind to try and remember this fucking horrific game that I played.
For our live viewers, here it is in all its glory.
Oh my god.
In all its glory.
I'm pretty sure I've got...
You got printed to disc.
The physical copy of Agony right here. $20.
I've probably got way too many to dig through to find it.
Yeah, no. Physical's dead for me for the most part, so
I had to for the memes. I knew it was supposed to be terrible.
Oh, absolutely. No, I get it.
And we were doing it, and I know most of the Discord was like, "Oh, it's on sale," and they got it for $3. And I'm like, I spent $20. I don't give a shit. I have the physical copy sitting right here.
I still remember the reviews.
Yeah,
a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Cameron, how do you pick games to play?
It changes every year, really. I would say...
That sounds consistent.
Yeah, I know. I would say in prior times, it essentially is based off AHA or IGS. If somebody chucks up a thing saying, hey, I need help with this, I'll be like, yeah, sure, I probably own it, so why not? And everybody knows I do not care about completion percentage anymore.
Anymore?
Ever.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean... Hall of Fame kind of just
cemented
the fact that I'm never going to get...
You have, 30% completion now? Or something?
I think it's back up to like 35, 36%.
Christ.
So I've gone like 2% up in the last few months.
Oh,
but, no, I mean... The only, I guess the redeeming thing for this year was the fact that I listed the series things that I work on. So Yakuza, COD, Halo, Forza Horizon, and that stuff. I'm pretty much remaining pretty consistent across those titles.
How are they going for you?
I mean, Forza Horizon, I need to get Mean Machine in, and then just finish off some of the DLC, and that'd be completely done. Forza Horizon 2 and 360, I'm waiting on other people. COD just depends where everybody is. Halo, MCC, 20 achievements off. Got to be careful not to put Aftos on hell after last night. Actually, that's the other thing with Halo last night. Spending 15 minutes, 20 minutes to pull off one speedrunning trick to save 40 minutes and having him as a checkpoint. I don't think he finds that enjoyable.
Well,
but my mentality is throw your head at the brick wall and eventually you'll get through.
Yep, true.
But and it takes a lot for me to go, well, no, this isn't working, I'm not going to bother anymore. It's no, I'm stubborn, I'll keep going. But yeah, the list is good. I actually want to continue it next year, and I already have some series planned one in particular, Rock Band. I really wish that they fixed the 2 discontinues, because I really want to give that a hard crack and been collecting the peripherals. I might even touch Rocksmith.
Wow.
And then, just some other stuff. I mean, I may as well force my way through that game and try and learn a guitar at the same time, eh?
Sure, I guess. Yeah, why not?
Be something interesting. And yeah, what else? And Dead Space. Dead Space is the one that I keep on getting. People say, hopefully that EA does a Dead Space collection now after Mass Effect's success.
That'd be good.
And I'm just like, might add that to the list because I've never played them.
Oh, they're great.
Wow, yeah, you definitely
They're
should.
Such good games. I'm really eager to play that game that is in development by the same company who made Dead Space, right? That was
Negative Atmosphere.
Yeah, something.
Something like that. Yeah, it was like
I think
it's a synonym for Dead Space.
Yeah.
I think music games or music-based games like Fuser and Rock Band and that will be a heavy part of the list next year, and so will the horror stuff for Resident Evil and Dead Space and that kind of stuff.
Random, real quick. Speaking of rhythm games, I've been playing a lot of Beat Saber. My brother got an Oculus Quest, and I've been playing Beat Saber, and I want to get to Expert Plus level at some point. That's the goal. That'll be fun.
I want to, but I just can't justify it.
It's fun. It's so fun. I love VR. I really do. I'm glad he bought it.
I think I just need to
and
get a
not
friend
me.
that has it.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what
exactly.
my brother. Like, I'm glad he bought the headset. I didn't. He got it's the Oculus Quest 1, and we were at a used game store, and he got it for $150, which isn't terrible at all for VR.
That's not bad. Yeah.
So, we've been playing the crap out of that. It's been fun. Beat Saber's super crazy fun and addicting, and so anyway, that was just a little. You were talking about rhythm games. I had to interject about that.
Oh, saying that, I think Fuser Unobtainables have been fixed as well. Fuser's a really, really fun game, and I think they're doing something like a Diamond Stage feature where you can play to like an audience.
Oh,
so something like that. I'm actually very keen to check out to see how that's. Like, I'm very much into community management side of things, so I want to see how they're dealing with that kind of stuff. Because Harmonix is interesting. I'm seeing...
Yeah, they're an interesting company, yeah.
But yeah,
I have a buddy who actually wanted to go work for Harmonix. Yeah,
oh, really?
it was like a... I think he was a tester. He tested all the hardware, and then he was also, anytime they made a new song... he was one of the people to play it and test it out and stuff. They found him because he actually went to a PAX and he had a Rock Band tattoo of all the instruments, and he played with some of the devs for a while, and they got to talking, and then they kind of stayed in touch afterwards, and they had a position, and they flew him out to their headquarters and gave him the job, and now he gets to play all the harmonic songs for fun for his job.
You just touched on two things. If I ever get a tattoo, which I'm kind of like, I've always been of the opinion of tattoos, just like, yeah, if I won lotto or something, like, it just doesn't seem like a good use of my money. But I always think that I'd just love to have something like the guitar, the bass guitar logo.
The guitar with the circle,
Band.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I do have a few shirts of the Scott Pilgrim Ringer tees.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are good.
Because I love them. And then saying that, funnily enough, I actually saw a post from Harmonix this morning looking for beta testers in Boston, I believe.
Oh.
So just funny time for that to come up. But, yeah, I'd love to work for somebody like them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, though, we get to see more instruments in the future, because... trying to find stuff for Rock Band 4 is not a fun time, I can tell you that.
I have my set, and I'm holding on to it.
The legacy adapter for the Pro Drums for Rock Band 3, I was having a look at pricing
It's
yesterday.
like $500, if not more now.
800 to 1,000 now.
Yeah. And I have the Rock Band 3 Pro drum set, the official one they released, minus the blue cymbal for some reason. I never bought the blue cymbal, and I looked into that. I wanted to get the Pro drums on Rock Band 4, and Yeah. They printed it once. They printed the adapter one time. And just never again.
And they say they'll do a production run, like a smaller production run, if they get something like 5,000 to 10,000 signatures. And I'm just like, there's just not that demand, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'd sign.
As much as I'd love them. I'll tell you what, if I ever seen Rock Band release anything in the future coming up, I'm getting a day one. I'm not taking the chance.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't fuck about. Yeah,
I still play Rock Band 3. I have like 800 some songs of DLC on Rock Band 3. And it's the only one I can use my Pro Drums on, so.
I loved getting the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
The guitar is just such a cool instrument. And actually...
The platypus of instruments.
It really is. But it's cool. I never got the keys for Rock Band 3.
There's the Pro one right there.
I never had any of the Pro
Right.
instruments either, which is unfortunate. Other than the Pro Drums, of course. But yeah, that would have been cool to have the Pro guitar. Oh well.
And then when it comes to me picking my games, basically it's usually so I'm known as the man with the rubber arm in that if you're on the Discord server and you're like, hey, Neo, do you want to play this game? I'm like, no. They're like, come on, we're all going to do it. No. Come on. All right, fine. And so that's how I ended up with fucking Swim Sanity on my tag. And fucking Neverwinter back in the day, and so many other things.
The amount of times I've seen you on a game that you said no is it happens a lot.
Yeah, I'm no,
It really does.
I give into. I'm really bad with peer pressure. It's fucking. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, as Valak says, we did get through Swim Sanity, which is fair, which is again, but that's not usual. But I don't know what the next thing is going to be, but I'm sure there'll be something waiting for me in the future.
Forza Horizon 5.
No, okay, even that. Driving or fighting games is like that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Age of Empires 4.
Well, maybe do Age of Empires 4. We'll see.
Look, I reckon I would have a much easier time convincing people of Age of Empires 2 if it didn't have a bloody 200 plus hour completion.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if it had cheats, I'd do it.
Oh, I would love if people would actually, when this co-op campaign comes out, like, I would love to play that with somebody.
I mean, like, I loved Age of Empires when I was a kid, but yeah.
If I play an RTS, I'll just play
anyway.
Halo Wars. I don't have time to play Age of Empires right now.
I need to finish up Halo Wars 2. I've got most of it done. I finally got all the Terminus stuff done. It's just the co-op campaign, the DLC campaign that's going to be a bit of a mission. Yeah, and then so it's that, and then because obviously I'm trying not to buy any games, it is Game Pass basically. Things that have been Game Pass. So Final Fantasy series has been what I've been going through. So 7, 8, 9, and now 10, and I'll probably jump on 12 at some stage. I'm probably going to need a little bit of a break, and then I'll probably do some Dragon Quest. I know that Valak, who's in chat, has been playing Dragon Quest 11 and quite enjoying it. So that's going to be and I have started that, so I do need to actually do it. So I think that maybe that's the next one I'll play. Just second one. I think I've been really enjoying getting back into JRPGs and actually having time to be able to put things into 100-hour completions where I didn't used to.
JRPGs are like my favorite genre, but they're just so long. It's the problem.
It's so hard to find the time.
And with the things like Dragon Quest 11, it's like I'm the kind of person I want to play them all from the beginning. So if I want to play Dragon Quest 11, it's not just Dragon Quest 11. It's Dragon Quest 1 through 9, and then Builders, and those are all also 70, 80 hours, even if you don't 100% them because they're not on Xbox. So at least there's not that pressure to dump 200 hours into it. But it's not just Dragon Quest 11. It's 15 other games.
I'm not familiar with Dragon Quest. Is it same deal as like Final Fantasy where it's
which
one's
okay. No, but that doesn't matter to me for some weird reason, the way my head works.
And yeah,
the name.
Yeah. So but yeah, so again, it's been interesting because it's been my nice break from playing through my backlog because again, as I've said many times, things are games that are uncompleted on my tag are usually uncompleted for a reason, and going back to them has been pretty tough. Even though there's 200 of them, most of them are there because either I'm bad at them, I don't have a group for them, or a number of other reasons. All right.
It's from that.
We also had. You want to talk about your community
Yeah,
question?
I was
you put
going to
up?
say community question. I just said like, what game would you make if you had the opportunity? Panda said Just Cause 2 remastered, and I've worked with the people who made the multiplayer mod to add multiplayer. I said I would love a Titanfall 1 S kind of game again. Maybe something like a little bit more Apex though. But like Titanfall 1 was one of the best multiplayer experiences on the Xbox One in my opinion.
That was one of the last first-person shooter multiplayer games that I really, really enjoyed. Yeah, Titanfall 1 was great.
I think the original devs that where did they came from? One of the Call of Duty studios. I can't remember which one.
Modern Warfare 2. Respawn was Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, to make Respawn. I don't think Respawn's ever had a bad game, to be honest.
Probably not.
Like, they usually knock it out of the park.
I mean, they've only made 3 games, so...
I mean, they're 3-0.
Well, 4.
4-0.
4-0, I guess. Yeah, 4-0 technically, yeah. It's because they did Titanfall 1, which is... I mean, I know you like it, but again, it was, I think, severely lacking. I think Titanfall 2 is better in every
I agree.
way.
I think it just came down to one of those things that it had the gameplay there, and I jumped in at a time where there was enough people in the community. I made some really good friendships out of it.
I mean, I guess the thing is, like, I fucking hate multiplayer, so... It's
What
like,
I
it's just
remember
not
about
my thing.
Titanfall 1 was getting it day 1, playing through to the first re-up, and then stopping forever. And then I was about to start my freshman year of college, and I was like, I'm not going to have time, and I want to finish this game. So what I remember of Titanfall 2 was going from Gen 2 pilot to Gen 10 pilot in a week. It was...
Holy shit!
It was 8 a.m.
So-
I'd wake up and play the game, boosting sessions, grinding when I'm not in the session, and then I'd go to bed probably 4 o'clock, and then I'd wake up at 8 a.m. again. I did the 50 MVPs in a day, and I did the 100 wins in a day.
Me.
I was doing at least a gen
nuts.
and a half a day. It was insane.
Pull harder before or after the update?
This was
Pull harder
after.
was hitting him with the arc cannon.
This was after.
Okay.
It was only 5 goosers, not 50. So, yeah.
Yeah. What a joke that achievement was.
Yeah. But
And then, obviously, Fallen Order is an incredible
Yes.
game. It's one of my
I'm
favorite
excited
games
for more
when it came out.
from
There.
that
Yeah,
franchise.
me too. They're definitely going to do another one, and they super sequel baited
Yep.
at the end of it. So
I mean, they
I'm super
announced
keen.
it. They announced Jedi or Jedi.
Yeah, true.
What is the subtext?
It's
Jedi
so
Order
it's
Fallen Order?
it's so it's Star Wars Jedi colon
Right. So
Fallen
they're-
Order. So
they've-
it's going to like Star Wars Jedi.
Yeah,
is
they
the,
officially franchised Star Wars Jedi for games, which is exciting. On Star Wars.
Hey, fine by me.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars
Yeah.
games, and like Star Wars is probably my favorite in terms of like franchises. Probably my favorite franchise
Mm-hmm.
of all time. So more good games in that franchise, I'm happy for. And then obviously Apex has been a big success for them as well. Sorry, yep.
Yeah, going on from that, CJ said Baywatch episodic narrative with minigames. I'll be honest,
I'd play that.
I've never watched Baywatch.
Yeah, we'll do. It's like a Telltale's Baywatch. I'd watch that. That'd be hilarious.
And Kia added to that Baywatch Nights episodic narrative with minigames.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's again, that's the After Dark version. That's
Okay, I wasn't
when-
sure if that
when-
was what it was referring to, or if it was like a spin-off, or...
Dino Bull says Halo greater than Star Wars, so I'm gonna. I know he's our first subscriber, but I'm gonna ban him.
I'm going to agree with him. I enjoy Halo a lot more than Star Wars, but you know what? Respawn can't make a bad game in my opinion. They're doing
So
it
far.
I don't know,
Don't
I
say
don't-
can't.
Yeah, now it's gonna be
Yeah.
trash.
Don't say
It's gonna be
can't.
dumpster fire.
But they've had a good track record so far. I used to be under the impression that what's the dev that's been who made Dragon Age?
Let's just say EA doesn't have a
it was like
good track record.
BioWare didn't make a bad game until they
yeah,
did.
exactly. There's a lot of devs out there that could never make a bad game until they made a bad game. So I hope Respawn's track record stays good, but never say never. Basically,
Fingers crossed. E3 time for free announcement.
No, there's no way
I don't think so either. But I'd love it.
because there's
Yeah,
there's no one at Respawn who could work on it at the moment. Is the problem?
I'm gonna. I just want it. I want it so bad.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 was such a good story. It's such a good achievement list, in my opinion.
Yeah, Titanfall 2. Yeah, Titanfall 2 is a fantastic game. I'd love a third one.
It's a perfect example of a good achievement list.
I had so much fun with Titanfall 2. I couldn't remember the last time I had so much fun on a first-person shooter campaign as I did Titanfall 2. I did that one recently. That was like a couple months ago I did that 100%. One. And God, it was good. It was over too quick. It was like 10 hours, and I just did the first playthrough hardest difficulty, and it was done.
And it's full of like interesting game mechanics, like the level.
Yeah. The levels were very much so designed around mechanics and stuff, and they were all unique and interesting. It never felt like they felt like levels. Like there's been a time in video games, I think in the seventh generation, so like Xbox 360, PS3, where levels just felt like you were just going through point A to B.
Halo 2, basically.
But Titanfall 2, every level felt like a new level. Like, this is a new, unique, new spin on it, new gimmick, new thing. Like, it was great. It was very good.
And it like didn't overstay its welcome and didn't reuse too many of those mechanics either. It was like, here's the new gimmick, we're going to use it for this level, and then it's done. Yeah. We're going to move on. And like, it's just cool. Fantastic. Like, yeah, like that. Obviously, there's that one level that really sticks out that obviously I don't want to spoil for people who haven't played it, but holy shit, like that mechanic was incredible. I'm going to need you to DM me and tell me what you're talking about if you don't want to spoil it. It's the one where you got to get to the core of the thing and things keep changing around you, and you can change them up. You can
sure. Yes, so cool, very cool. Yes.
Stack on PC so I can replay it again.
Stack on PC. No,
I know it's not gonna happen, but
I'm getting tired of this double dipping bullshit. All right,
there are games I'll double dip, and that is gladly one of them.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd probably do that too. We also had a question in the chat. Let me see if I can just dig it up. How do you guys achievement hunt on non-PlayStation or Xbox systems?
I think they mean like how do you wait?
Do you?
Let me.
Do you like?
How do you guys achievement hunt on non? Oh, like Nintendo or I'm confused as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
I guess or PC console. Or yeah. I mean, like, I don't. That's the thing, is that like achievement hunting has kind of fucked me in a way that like I make it difficult. It makes it difficult for me to be incentivized to play anything that doesn't have achievements in it. Be that games that are in early access, games that are on PC, or like games that are even on the Switch. Like I wanted to play through like Breath of the Wild or like Super Mario Odyssey, and like I played a little bit of them, but like. It's not the kind of thing that I would do 100% in like I would have before achievements, right? Like I would have 100% of the game just 100% it because I love those kinds of games. But when I have a backlog of 200 games that I need to finish, it's really fucking hard to justify to myself to spend time putting more time into games than just the narrative when I could be doing that with other stuff. Obviously, there's going to be exceptions of things that are like really stand out that you absolutely have to play that are not like, you know, if it's on like a Sony console, I'll probably, you know, like I'll probably do the PC versions of like Spider-Man or whatever if it ends up coming, or maybe Uncharted, because like I don't have a PlayStation. I've never had a PlayStation account, so I don't have trophies. So I don't really care.
If I'm playing outside of Xbox, it's going to be for the exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, for sure.
Like. The studios that I'll do that with is definitely like Insomniac, because I love Sunset Overdrive, and Spider-Man is always going to be one of those things that I wanted to check out. Yeah, there's just no motivation when you have such a high gamer score. It's like you may as well keep on adding points to your time.
Yeah.
And that's what Microsoft wants, right? They've got you in the ecosystem, so it makes perfect sense.
I just really wish we saw some more improvements.
I've just always been a completionist, so no matter what I play. PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo or whatever, I'm always completing. And then retro achievements are a thing. Little kind of, what's the word? I can't think of the word for it. But yeah, you can. There's a way out there to achievement hunt like Game Boy Advanced and Nintendo 64 and SNES games and NES games. That's a lot of fun. So I'll do that sometimes. But yeah. Mostly just stuck on Xbox because just that dopamine hit me there, right in that. Give me the happy, that ping. PlayStation trophies are fun and cool, and I get platinums and stuff on some games that really, really drive me and engulf me, like Ghost of Tsushima I did, and Spider-Man I did, but they were phenomenal games. But I'm not too bothered by not getting plats on games. There's hundreds of games I don't have plats for that I played on PlayStation. But with Xbox, they knew what made me tick, I guess. That sound and that number and that stall of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just
they got it down to a science.
Like just that sound. Just
yeah.
Is it gonna work? Yeah.
And then the menu.
The stream can hear it.
The menus and navigating it and looking at it all and seeing all your games and their scores and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty sick. Like I said, I've been ever since the first time I saw an achievement pop. I was like, oh, what's that? And I wanted to get more of them.
Yeah,
it's funny. No, I think with the games I'm playing lately too, a lot of them actually have like rare achievements in it. Most of the time. Yeah. If I just pop a normal one now, it's just like, whatever. Get the rare one.
So funny.
Give me that dopamine.
It's so funny because so many, like, obviously as achievement hunters, we're in the 90% minority of gamers, if not 95 or less, even.
Yeah, we're a niche of a niche.
So everything we are unlocking are all rare achievements. Even some of the easiest things. It's like you just so when I get a non-rare achievement is when I'm actually like, oh, that was a normal one, huh?
Oh, I guess everyone does this.
There's so many DLC ones.
Yeah.
That it's just
usually all the DLC ones are rares. Every single one of them usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they start rolling some of the TA stuff into Xbox in general, right? Like that I think that's really the next step for Microsoft if they're going to improve the achievements.
That's what I thought would always be cool.
Is to just get some of that.
Like I think there's a few like from the achievement community that we should really push. Like I was making a suggestion on your behalf the other day, Matt, that I would love them to add a feature into hide completed games. Like
that would be nice, just to be able to like the option to.
Like, and turn it on and off, kind of, you know, whenever you want to access something. But
and I think it'd be cool to see the reverse too. I want to see how many people like integrating Xbox stats into TA. I want to see how many people have started Halo 3, not just who registered to TA, but in general. Not because I want to inflate the ratio or anything, but just like kind of more as a curiosity thing, like. See some. It'd be a great way to see sales figures and stuff. Like because there's so many unreleased sales figures, so it'd be a really cool way to see certain indie titles how they did and how. I think that could be some really cool, valuable information if it kind of there was some cross contamination between Xbox and TA.
Agreed. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that pretty much leads us to the end of the show. What are we going to do? Cameron,
what I was going to, I guess, suggest to the audience is, you know, we're live on Twitch. I want to do something for the Twitch viewers, even if it's just like us having like a little bit of an after show for 15 minutes, which will be essentially exclusive content for when you're checking out the Twitch streams. It could be just you guys asking a few more questions, getting our thoughts on stuff, you know, leaving it a bit open rather than just the community questions, but. You know, just having a good old chat for 15.
We can stare at Agony for 15 minutes. The physical release. I could read the back of Agony. I don't even want to read the back of Agony.
So I don't know if we'll do it this week, but we might do it next month. So we might do it for our next show once people have got an idea of it, and we have an idea of how many people we're going to have, and get some side topics, and just, you know, it'll probably be more general chat stuff. So, you know, maybe we'll talk about fucking anime and TV shows and other bits and pieces as opposed to just
about anime.
Well, that's the thing. We just got another question. How is everybody going with the May Microsoft Rewards Challenge? I honestly have no idea. I know I've activated the punch card, but I haven't really touched it.
I didn't even bother starting it because I knew I wasn't going to be scoring much this month.
I think I've got like $5 at least.
I don't know. Maybe this is ignorant of me, but I'm like, the amount of time it takes me to get the 10,000 points is like if I do 10 1-hour game completions, I just spent 10 hours for $10. That's $1 an hour.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
I have 10 hours I could play other games I want to play, and that's if I have 10 1-hour completions lined up, which I at this point not really, because I don't really buy games for quick completions. I buy games that I want to play, and sometimes they coincidentally are 2-hour or 1-hour completions. But so that's kind of how I hardly even activate those punch cards anymore, because I'm just like, my time is worth more than $1 an hour.
I'd be very interested to see how many people actually do activate the punch cards and how much actually, get the full out of it.
Yeah.
Because it just seems one of those things that it's, they're doing it for the achievement hunting community, but realistically, how many people are taking, other than the die-hard fans, the hardcore gamers, the ones after the dogmatics.
Yeah.
Dinah will ask, are you guys rating anybody after the stream is over? I'll be honest, I don't know how. I am 100% new to the whole Twitch thing, and I'm messing around with settings and all that. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, I can turn subs on, and
I can show you live.
But I think
now.
We've got the perfect person to ask. I guess, teach us the ins and outs of
There are
Twitch.
two ways to.
What the hell am I doing?
There are
here?
2 ways to raid. I only ever do it one way because I think the other way is a super easy way to mess it up. You can just in chat as the host of the stream, and this is usually, I'm pretty sure only the host of the stream. Maybe super editors can do this too. But yeah, just like they typed in chat, you type /raid and then their username, and then it'll push you through. But it has to be spelled exactly correct, which is where people are like, oh, wrong person, and they'll cancel the raid. Or sometimes I've even seen people raid the wrong people because they have a similar name. So the second way to do it, the way I do it, is I go to my creator dashboard, which is you just basically go to twitch.tv and then click on your profile, and it takes you to the creator dashboard. I'm sure you've looked at it a little bit. You have to have looked at it to be an affiliate. There's a bunch of little widgets that say a bunch of different things. One of them's raid. You just click raid, and then it pulls up a dialog box of all the people you're following who you can raid, or you can search people, and then it'll pull them up by, how close the name was that you typed in, and then you can click that, and it'll push you through the raid. They take 30 seconds or something to go through, or you can just send them through manually. And that's how you do it. Super easy.
Okay, so
where do the Shadow Legends
go? You just gotta hit them up because they'll sponsor anybody.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that pretty.
I'm in the creator dashboard right now. If we go,
all right. Well, don't do it yet. Obviously,
I'm not gonna do it. I'm
keep
setting it
going out
up.
of focus.
Anyway, let me wrap up the show. Jesus Christ! All right. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of the show. If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at hello@realgamerscore.com. We're on Twitter at Real Gamerscore, which Cameron mans. Discord.io/RealGamerscore and Patreon.com/RealGamerscore. And if you want to write any questions, you can send them to any of those channels, but the best place to do it is on the Discord, so it doesn't get lost. But Isaac always sends them in emails, and we read them out there. So again, it's not a major, but just so we can keep them all in one place, we really appreciate it. And if you're interested in being on the show, like our lovely guest Reptar here, send a message to Cameron, and he'll see if we can book you in for a spot. We usually stream on Friday nights, New Zealand, Australian time. But again, it's a Saturday here for us, so we're relatively flexible. It just really depends on your availability.
I'm not going to set it up so there's a consistent date in the Twitch channels. I mean, use a part of the achievement hunting community. You guys relatively know when we're going to plan to do one.
Yeah, and the audio version always comes out on Tuesday mornings. Anyway,
audio version will always come out on Tuesdays unless Matt's found in a dumpster hidden behind a.
in which case, hopefully, I've scheduled it so you'll at least get one more episode.
What else was I going to say? We do have Rogue and Mephisto on next week. Mephisto was originally on the show because he's the number 1 in Australia. Rogue is in number 2, so it'll be interesting to have a chat with them next week about who's going to remain on top or who's going to overtake who.
As usual, it'll just be a massive dick measuring competition as we always do on this show. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's okay. We have
yeah.
we have this guy from New Zealand that seems to have a bigger game score than both of them, so I'm sure you.
I mean, only just Mephisto has been close to catching me up. Like if I keep playing these fucking JRPGs, I'm going to get overtaken. So
you guys should do
anyway.
Command in chat to show your Discord link every time you guys bring it up. It's another thing you can do. With Stream Elements or Streamlabs.
That's a great idea. We should definitely
little exclamation point Discord command.
I need to mess around with Streamlabs a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely do that. All right, and if you want to help out the podcast in other ways, subscribe to us on your platform of choice. You've listened to the end of the podcast, you understand how a fucking podcast works. Rate, review, subscribe, hit that like button, hit the bell, whatever the fuck it is. Leave a review, tell your friends. Word of mouth is the biggest thing for us. As we always say, just cram it seamlessly into every boosting session you've ever been in. You can take my approach where I'm like, hey, I got to get going, I got to record a podcast, but I'll give you guys a shout out on it. Or you can do like Cameron, where he just says, hey, is this now a good time to bring up that I'm on a podcast? Whatever works. Whatever works. Hey, just as long as you get in the name out there, we really appreciate it. And we've got some great community members, some great feedback from people, so we just want to keep growing and growing. Retweet our tweets, subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and all that kind of places. You guys get it. If you want to get in contact with me, you can find me on Neomaster on pretty much everything. True Achievements, Xbox, Discord especially. Reptile, where can people find you?
So I'm on Xbox with the username that's in the title, Reptile3000. I run a Discord, Achievement Hunters Anonymous. That's part of why I was here. You can join that if you want. It's a fun place where these two both like to hang out a lot. There's been a lot of, like they always say, there's a lot of cross between our communities, and it's really cool. So if you want to check that out, make some cool friends, play some games, do that. You can follow me on Twitch, Reptar and Ice 300, not the 3000. There's a story behind it. If you want to know the story, you can come ask me while I'm streaming sometime. It's relatively interesting, honestly. So, those are the big ones. TA, same thing, Reptar and Ice 3000. So, add me on Xbox, add me on TA, join my Discord. Follow me on Twitch. I play retro games or Achievement Hunt. It's a lot of fun, but yeah.
Very
Great.
nice.
And Cameron?
I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, but I've updated my Twitter handle now to be Shadowless Edge. Pretty much Shadowless Edge will be on most places you can find me. You can also find me as the chief admin for the Xbox Achievement community, which has now been popping off. I'm at like 370 members, I think. Grown like by 40 or so the last 2 weeks, which is just phenomenal. So much love there too. And what else was I going to say? And yeah, just my website, so www.shadowlessedge.com. You can reach out for me if you would like to do some cross promotion between the podcasts, or if you just want to have me as a guest on one time. Happy to do that too. Love making content for you guys.
All right. Well, that'll be episode 137. Thank you all for joining us. We will catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.